Welcome in, welcome in. We're live. Merry Christmas. Hope everyone is having great holidays and we are back. I hope you guys did not play against Derrick Henry. That was insane. My God. 36 carries, 216 yards, four rushing touchdowns, put up 45.6 fantasy points. That is wild. I did have Derrick Henry in on three Dynasty teams that made the playoffs. Unfortunately, none of them made the finals. So that was a bit of a gut punch seeing that tonight. But hey, at least I was not playing against any Derrick Henry in any of my four finals matchups. So hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you didn't play against Derrick Henry. And yeah, sorry we weren't able to do a stream on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Just had a lot of stuff going on with the holidays and family and everything. I'm sure you guys did as well. But we're back. It is week 17. It's the finals. We're here, and we need to make some good start-sit decisions so we can win some championships. This is what it's all about. So yeah, drop your start-sit questions in the chat. Let me know how you guys are doing here. I will pull up the live chat now, and yeah, we'll let people start rolling in here. But yeah, that was a really cool game. I wasn't expecting a lot with Malik Willis and Tyler Huntley at quarterback, but they actually put on a pretty good show. Malik Willis looked really good. Tyler Huntley wasn't too shabby either. It was actually a pretty good game for fantasy. I know Christian Watson also had a good game. I was happy to see Seb benched him in the listener league. Seb and I are playing each other in the finals. So a lot on the line there. A lot of bragging rights to be the winner of the listener league. So hoping I'm able to take that one down. It's been a fun what would you call it, arms race between Seb and I over this past week. We've been making trades left and right, trading blows, and our teams look a lot different than they did at the start of the week. So that's been a lot of fun. Can't wait to see how that goes. But yeah, hope you guys are also in some finals matchups. Yeah, let me know if I can help with any start sit decisions. I can talk about some of my favorite starts of the week, maybe some sneaky starts. Hopefully you're not having to make too many, sneaky type of starts in the finals. Hopefully you got locked and loaded studs in there. But hey, so sometimes you make it to the finals and you still have a hole or two or a weakness. So sometimes you still got to get a bit clever in the finals in those type of situations. Hey, we got Seb in the chat here. Welcome. Uh, Seb says, lucky AF. I thought about starting him over Jawan Johnson. Yeah, so obviously Seb is alluding to his boy Christian Watson there, his Packer. Yeah, so yeah, let's see what Christian Watson ended up with. Not to make Seb feel too bad here. Can't blame him too much for benching him. Seb's got a loaded starting lineup, so he was going to have to bench some good players. Also, it is a tight end premium league, 0.75 tight end premium. So Jawan Johnson's been pretty darn good in this format. But yeah, Christian Watson. Let's see, he pulling up his game log. Okay, 6 targets, 5 catches, 113 receiving yards, and he did have a touchdown. So that was good for, in like normal PPR leagues, that was good for 22.3 points. So I think it was probably about the same in the listener league. Although we do have big play bonuses in that league. So I can't remember now if he hit one of those. But in any case, hey, we also got Tyler Sperry in the chat. Welcome. Good to see you. It says Luther Burden or Devonta Smith in the snow. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about weather this week. I guess I just haven't been following it too much. I probably haven't consumed quite as much fantasy football content this week as I normally do, just because I've been so busy with the holidays. Yeah, which is, it is kind of crazy timing with it because here it's like the most important week of the fantasy football season, and we got some major distractions with the holidays. Of course, I love the holidays and everything, but yeah, kind of interesting timing there to say the least. So yeah, I don't know too much about the weather in Buffalo, is where I believe the game is being held between the Eagles and Bills. Um, I'm not going to worry too much about the snow. I mean, I think weather's really overrated. I mean, certainly there might be some outliers where I might take that in consideration or let it like break a tie if it's really close between two players. But for the most part, I'm just going to disregard it. I just find that generally leads to the best results. That's what I've seen over the years playing fantasy football for like more than 25 years at this point. And then Luther Burden, let's look at his matchup this week. Let's see. The Bears are playing. You would think I would know this by now, but sometimes my mind just goes blank when I'm here on the when I'm here live. But the Bears play at San Francisco, of course, the Sunday night game. That should be a pretty fun game. Yeah, so I don't hate that. I mean, let's check on the status of Luther Burden. I mean, he's been dealing with some injuries. So has Roma Dunze, which could also impact whether or not you'd want to be starting Luther Burden. So let's look at Roma Dunze first while I'm thinking about him. All right. Roma Dunze, let's see. The latest update on him says Roma Dunze to miss his fourth consecutive game. Okay, yeah, I didn't even realize that. So, okay, so Dunze's out of the picture. And let's check on Luther Burden. I'm assuming he's going to have like a questionable tag, but who knows? Maybe he's off the injury report. I currently do not own any Luther Burden. I traded my one share to Blake because he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Okay, Luther Burden's off the injury report. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good matchup. So, man, that's a tough one. Gosh. I mean, Devonta Smith has cooled down a bit. I mean, I feel like he was having a pretty solid year before that. He still feels like a stud talent. I generally like to go with the players that got me here. So I think I'll break the tie and say Devonta Smith. Wouldn't fault you if you went Luther Burden. I mean, that's a good matchup, and maybe that turns into a high scoring game. I mean, I could definitely see that. I mean, the Niners were in a high scoring game last week with the Colts. I feel like the Bears sometimes get in some shootouts as well. Wouldn't fault you going for either way there. I mean, maybe just stick with what you have in there right now. I don't know if I would like talk you out of, either one if you had them in your lineup right now. So maybe just go with your gut there. But if you're asking me in a vacuum, I'm going with the player that got me here. I'm going with Devonta Smith. Don't really care if the matchup is good or bad against the Bills. Like that could be a high scoring game as well. Speaking of possible shootouts, I mean, Eagles, Bills, that has shootout written all over it. I mean, I think Josh Allen's healthy. He's expected to play. I feel like Jalen Hurts is due for a big game. I mean, that could be a really fun shootout for the finals here in Week 17. So I don't know if I want to bench a player in that game. So yeah, give me Devonta Smith. I'll give you a definitive answer there. Fire up Devonta Smith there. Let's see. Tyler Sperry says in Buffalo, every rain to snow. Okay. Feel like there's maybe a typo in there or an autocorrect. Maybe clarify that for me if you could. Hey, we got Camex in here. Good to see you. And you say me losing in week 1 of the playoffs because of a 50-point McBride game. Oh, good Lord. And yeah, you got a blank face emoji there. I feel you on that one. Yeah, I mean, McBride's been unbelievable. And then, yeah, of course, but yet somehow he disappeared this past week and he was outscored by the Cardinals tight end too, Elijah Higgins, which was pretty crazy. I imagine McBride will be bouncing back this week against the Bengals, which is just like the all-time incredible matchup for tight ends. I mean, it's just been a slam dunk starting tight ends against the Bengals this season. So, but yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, I feel you on that. I definitely had some teams that were bounced out in round 1 this year, just a couple weeks ago. So I feel your pain on that. I definitely feel your pain. And you also say, but it is what it is. I still got a good team. Oh, heck yeah. I mean, the best team doesn't always win. And, I mean, I guess that's kind of the tragedy of fantasy football sometimes, but it's also the fun of it too, is that even if you don't have the best team, you still have a chance to win. If you just get on the playoffs, anything can happen. Your team gets hot. Weird things happen. It's unpredictable. That's part of the fun of it too. I mean, it wouldn't be quite as fun if it was just like completely predictable. So yeah, you got to take the bad with the good there. Let's see. And Tyler Perry says Burden healthy as of yesterday. Yep. So yeah, not too worried about Burden's health. But I just think you kind of go with your stud. I know Devonta Smith has not been producing lately, But you know my theory. I've mentioned this a number of times over the past like month or so. I'm trying to think. Have I come up with a specific name for it? Basically, the phenomenon that I have seen consistently over the years is that when a talented player has been underproducing recently, and then they're going up against like a really difficult matchup in fantasy for the position that they play, it's pretty much like a guaranteed spike week. And I know it like makes no sense because it's like, oh man, like Devonta Smith, he's been doing nothing lately, and now he's got a tough matchup against the Bills. Like, oh, maybe I should just bench him. And then you bench him, and then he just like goes off, and you're like, where did this come from? Like the matchup was bad. He's been doing nothing lately. I'm telling you, I've seen it so many times. I mean, like, I don't know how to fully explain it. I mean, I have a theory. I won't get too deep into that because I'm sure you guys aren't that interested. But just believe me, it's happened so many times over the years. It's happened a bunch of times this year. I could give you specific examples even. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling like Devonta Smith is due for a spike week here. Yeah, not going to worry about the weather and yeah, it's not even about like Burden's health or anything like that. I think Burden's a fine start. Um, yeah. Hey, let's get it in here. Welcome. Good to see you. And you say, "What's up, man? Man, I don't know what to do for championship. Purdy or Stafford? Myers. Okay, well, here, I'll answer that first. We'll go one at a time here. Purdy or Stafford? Yeah, I feel like we were talking about this in the last stream as well. I mean, that is such an impossible choice. Um, I mean, Stafford is what, like the QB2 on the season? So I feel like the process would say to go with Stafford. Um, he's been the quarterback who's gotten you here. Purdy has been, banged up a lot of the year. He is getting hot, so I do think he's an excellent start this week. Um, and I am facing that same choice in the finals of a dynasty league this week. And I am going Purdy, but it's kind of an easier decision for me because one, I'm starting Stafford in another league. So like if it's that close, like let me just diversify a little bit. So I'll start like Stafford in one league, Purdy in the other. Also, the league where I'm starting Purdy, I am also starting George Kittle, and then if he's out, I'm probably starting Jake Tongues at tight end, and I'm also starting Juwan Jennings. So I'm going to be having a double stack there with Purdy, Jennings, and whoever's starting at tight end for the 49ers. So between the double stack and kind of diversifying, for me, it's kind of an easy decision in that particular league to go with Purdy. But if it weren't for those things, like I would be so split on this as well. That is such a tough one. Um, I mean, both those games could be shootouts. Rams Falcons on Monday night, and then 49ers Bears on Sunday night. I feel like I have a little more confidence in Rams Falcons being a shootout. I got a pretty good feeling about that game. So I think I'll take Stafford here. I just feel like that's what the process play is. I mean, I'll just verify what he is. Yeah, he's the quarterback 2 on the season in points per game. Actually, he's tied for first, so he's basically the quarterback 1. He's tied with Josh Allen at 26.1 points per game. So I'm assuming this is 6 point per passing touchdowns. Let me know if it's not. Um, if it is 4 point, maybe you could break the tie and say Purdy because he does run the ball a bit more than Stafford. Okay, so I'll say that. If it's 4 points, I'll fire up Purdy. If it's 6 points, I'm going to go with Stafford there. And then, yeah, reading the rest of your question here, Jacoby Myers, BTJ, Marv, Trey Tucker, or Kyle Williams with all those New England guys out. Yeah, that's right, because both Mac Hollins and Keyshawn Boutte are both out this week. So I do think that kind of clears the deck. I mean, it does make Kyle Williams kind of a interesting desperation start / deep sleeper this week. Certainly wouldn't feel good about having to start him in a finals matchup, but he is at least interesting. And then you also have Taysom Hill, Michael Mayer, and of course, Brock Bowers is out this week, or Theo Johnson. Although Theo Johnson, I believe, is out this week. I think he was just rolled out today, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, do not play Theo Johnson, that's for sure. And then you say Gibbs and Denver defense did bad. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, yeah, I won't even get going on the Lions here. It's too depressing to even talk about. But yeah, Gibbs killed me in a league as well. I mean, hopefully, actually, it's in the listener league. So I think I still have a chance to recover because rest of my line was pretty loaded. But yeah, that was absolutely brutal. It was tough to watch that game. At least what I did see, it was on Christmas, so I didn't even watch a lot of it. But what I did see was absolutely brutal. So that's a rough start. So hey, but the good news is you know that you probably need some upside here, because yeah, that is a brutal start with Gibbs and the Broncos defense there. So okay, so we'll take one thing at a time here. So your receivers: Jacoby Myers, BTJ, Marv, Trey Tucker, Kyle Williams. I don't want to start Kyle Williams in the finals. I just don't. I don't want to start Trey Tucker in the finals. I mean, I really don't want to start Marv in the finals, particularly. Hey, I'll just take Jacoby Myers and BTJ. We'll roll the Jags. Um, yeah, and shoot, wait, is it a different team where you have Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback and the Jags receivers? Because I'm confused now because I feel like you had like the double stack. Anyways, let me know if I'm getting mixed up, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. I'll just take your question as it is. And yeah, I'll go with the two Jags, Myers and BTJ. Kamek says, I'm excited to join the listener league though. I'll have two leagues I'll be a part of with that. I'm very excited for it. Hey, hell yeah, man. We're really excited to have you in there. So yeah, Kamex is talking about listener league 2.0. So yeah, it's just basically, yeah, like, we have the first listener league right now. I've been alluding to that with my finals matchup against Seb, who I'm sure most of you know from the live chat, and he's been, on camera a few times as a guest. But yeah, so basically, yeah, it's just I mean, I'm sure everyone knows what a listener league is, but yeah, just a league for me, Blake, and like a bunch of our regular viewers. So we're doing a second one. And yeah, I think we already have what, like 6 or 7 people committed to it. So spots are going pretty fast. I think we're planning on making it. Actually, I think we're going to plan on making it a 14-team league, so that does give us a little leeway. So if anyone out there is interested in joining, um, you could either, well, you could leave a comment here in the live chat, but probably better to either message me on Sleeper at Dan Fortune 500, or you could message me on Discord. I don't have the link in the description right now. It's in the description of our previous live streams, and I'll also put it in this one as soon as the live stream ends. But in any case, yeah, send me a message on Sleeper or Discord. I'm at Dan Fortune 500 on both, and yeah, let me know if you're interested in being in Listener League 2.0. It's going to be a dynasty league, 12 or 14 teams. We're going to try to make it 14 if we can get 14 people in it, and it'll be a low buy-in. It's mostly just for fun. The first listener league just has a buy-in of $30 per year, so it'll probably be something similar to that for 2.0. But yeah, Camex, we're really excited to have you in there, and yeah, I'm excited to be playing Dynasty with a lot of our new regular viewers here. So yeah, super excited for that. So great to have you in there. Can't wait to get that started. I mean, heck, the off season's almost here. I mean, that's Dynasty season. Blake and I love that. So we can't wait to start talking about rookies and fire up Listener League 2.0 and get the startup draft going. Like those are always such a blast. So yeah, cannot wait for that. Let's get it. Says kind of like Kyle Williams, but BTJ and Myers might not be bad. Gardner is back, so wait, Gardner. Like who the heck's Gardner? Not sure who you're referring to there, but in any case, Kyle Williams. Nah, I mean, he's shown some flashes. He's looked good at times. I kind of liked him as a prospect, and drafted him in a couple dynasty leagues. So I definitely hope he turns into something. And I'd love to see a breakout game from him this week. But I just don't want to trust that in the finals. I mean, you just never know. Like you just don't know what you would be getting from a Kyle Williams starting him. Like I don't want like that big of a mystery box in my lineup of a finals playoff matchup. It just doesn't feel good or right to me. I think Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas are the right play. That I think, at least my process would say that. Let's get it. Says I'm the guy that returns with the same complicated questions. My fault. LOL. Hey, you know, it's our pleasure to answer these. Like, hey, you can bring back the same questions as many times as you want. I mean, things change. So like and hey, this is the finals. Like you got money on the line here. You're trying to win a championship. So hey, I do not blame you whatsoever for asking the same question again a few days later. A lot has happened since then. News has come out. Injuries have been clarified. You also have some information about your matchup. So that you probably need. You might know that you need a little more upside this week. So Yeah, I think it's a good idea to ask that question again. So happy to answer it. Don't mind at all. And yeah, plus I mean these are really tough questions. So um, I don't blame you for still grappling with it now a few days later here. Let's see. And then Kamek says, dude, I'm so glad I'm not in the championship in hindsight. Gibbs was a dud. Bowers got put on the IR. Odunze might go on the IR. And my one backup wide receiver in Hollins just went on IR. I was screwed either way. Hey, yeah, if you get eliminated, it's probably just best for your team to just, be terrible the rest of the way. Because then you don't have to look at it and be like, oh man, like I would have won the championship if I had just squeak by that matchup in round one. So hey, it's probably all for the best. It'll be good for your mental health and peace of mind. So yeah, I'm all for that. Definitely not the worst thing in the world there. And let's see, let's get it. Says nah, the only Jags receivers, BTJ, Myers, and Parker. Okay, so do you still have Parker Washington on your team? Because I mean, he's not a bad start either. I think it was fantasy points that was talking him up this week, saying he had a pretty nice matchup in the slot against the Colts. So, do you think he's kind of interesting? I mean, I probably would have a tough choice choosing between those three Jags receivers if you do have all three of them. And I mean, for what it's worth, Parker Washington is coming off a big game. I mean, it would feel a little bit like point chasing to start him this week, but I mean, he's been pretty good all year. I mean, it's not like it's just like one good game out of nowhere. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Trevor Lawrence does like to spread it around a bit. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if like Brendan Strange had a good game as well. It could kind of be anyone on any given week. So on the one hand, that doesn't make you feel great in terms of like starting one or two of them. On the other hand, on any given week, any one of them could go off. So yeah, we saw it with Parker Washington last week. 10 targets, 6 catches, 145 yards and a touchdown. I'm not saying he's going to do that again, but I do think he's kind of a sneaky start. Definitely don't hate him this week, although, I'd prefer to have someone better in the finals, certainly. But yeah, let me know if you saw Parker Washington, because I do think he's kind of interesting this week. At least in a desperation kind of way. And heck, I mean, if you're starting two Jags receivers, I mean, you're at least a little desperate. It's not like any of them are like have been studs this year. I mean, they've been solid. Kamek says, do y'all have a certain month that y'all are thinking of starting it on? I mean, my guess is that it'll probably be sooner than later. Usually how we do it with Dynasty startups in the off season is we can do the startup draft before the NFL draft because we don't have to draft rookies. Usually, what happens, and maybe you're already familiar with this, but I'll just explain it for anyone that doesn't know. But basically, kind of the typical thing is you'll draft kickers in the startup draft, but you're not actually drafting kickers. Anytime you draft a kicker, it just represents like the next best rookie pick available in the 2026 rookie draft. So like the first person to draft a kicker gets the rookie 101, and then the rookie draft typically happens shortly after the NFL draft. So with all that said, in terms of when we would start things up, I mean, my guess would be is like we'll probably create the league on Sleeper. I mean, heck, I mean, we might do it as soon as January. I mean, I definitely know Blake and I are really excited to make it a real thing and get it going here and fill up the league. So we'll probably create the league on Sleeper in January. Yeah, so I mean, heck, we're almost there. I mean, it's almost January already. So uh, that's probably when we'll create the league on Sleeper. And then in terms of when the startup draft will take place, I guess it depends a little bit on how long it takes to fill the league up. I mean, I would say like once the league fills up, I mean, there's probably not like too much reason to delay having the startup draft. I mean, I guess some people might have preferences in terms of like, oh, should we wait for NFL free agency to happen? Should we wait for the NFL draft? But my guess is we'll probably have a lot of excited people that are, anxious to get it going. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even did it before NFL free agency in March. So, don't quote me on that. I mean, we'll just have to kind of see what everyone wants to do and play it by year. But I think we'll probably get it going sooner than later because, hey, I mean, startup drafts are fun. So why delay the fun, right? So, yeah, I mean, things will probably be happening pretty fast because, um, I mean, yeah, it's already technically Sunday morning now, and I mean the NFL season will be over. Um, what? Yeah, with within the next 48 hours. So yeah, and then after that, it's basically the Dynasty off season, and we're gonna be excited to get Listener League 2.0 going. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. We'll let you know in the Discord once the league's created on Sleeper. But yeah, I'm super excited to get that going. So yeah, it'll probably be sooner than later. Let's see. Let's get it. Says Sauce Gardner. My fault. He'll be shadowing BTJ. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes more sense. Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not one to care about matchups too much. I mean, do we really know for a fact that he's going to be shadowing BTJ? I mean, let me know if what that thought is based on, because it doesn't always happen that the best cornerback just shadows the best receiver on the opposing team. I mean, sometimes that happens, or sometimes the best cornerback will go to the second best receiver, and then they'll double team the best receiver. And plus, is BTJ even the best receiver on the Jags this year? I mean, kind of seems like Jacoby Myers has been playing better than him. I mean, Parker Washington's been really good. BTJ's been kind of a disappointment, but we know I mean, we think he's a stud talent, right? So maybe he still gets that respect from opposing defenses. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know for a fact that Sauce Gardner is going to be shadowing BTJ. So, also, hasn't Sauce Gardner been dealing with some injuries? Like, did he even play in the last game? Like, I don't even think he was out there, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I could pull that up right here. Let's see if Sauce Gardner is even healthy and definitely be playing in this game, because I swear he's been banged up. Let's see. Okay, Sauce Gardner. Okay, cleared for week 17. Okay, so he is healthy. But yeah, I'm just not going to worry about that too much. I mean, he might not even end up shadowing him for all we know. Like, we just don't know that for a fact, unless you have some really good information about that. But even if you do, like, I just don't care about matchups to that degree that it's gonna, like, oh, now I'm gonna bench this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if it's really close, maybe, but I don't want to start Kyle Williams over him. And then, wait, I can't remember. Did you clarify that you do own Parker Washington? Sorry if my brain's a little scrambled here, but um, wait, let's see what you say here. Definitely, you say definitely want to start Myers, but was considering starting Parker over BTJ due to Gardner being back for Indianapolis. I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I mean, it's one of those decisions that if you made it, like, it wouldn't feel amazing, because like you're benching the brand name, you're benching the talent over a lesser brand name, a lesser talent in Parker Washington. But, you know, just because someone doesn't have as big of a brand name, uh, or wasn't the same prospect coming out of college, like, it doesn't mean that they're, not playing better now this season. It doesn't mean that they're not going to score more fantasy points this week when, I mean, we're in a 1 week game now. Win or go home. So I don't think it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't feel great. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I'll put it that way. If you really are not feeling BTJ this week and you have a better feeling about Parker Washington, I don't think it's crazy. Like I said, Fantasy Points really likes the matchup for Parker Washington in the slot this week. I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed hot. Um, so I don't know. I mean, that's a really, really tough one. I mean, let's just see this. Like, who's been better this season in terms of points per game? Like, what do you even think? Like, I mean, you would think it would have to be BTJ, but like, it might not be. I mean, let's look at it. Okay, so I'm looking at scoring leaders for wide receivers, and then just a kind of a regular full PPR league. Let's see where these guys are at. Okay, Parker Washington is at 10.4 points per game, and Brian Thomas is at. Okay, I'm scrolling up because I'm I guess under the assumption that he's scored more, but maybe that's not true. I guess it's probably not. I think we're gonna have to scroll down from Parker Washington. Let's see. Yep, we had to scroll down. Not too far, but Brian Thomas, 10.3 points per game. So, okay, so Parker Washington's ahead of him by a tenth of a point. So technically, Parker Washington has been the better receiver this season. So it's definitely not crazy. And let's look at what Brian Thomas did last week. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great matchup at Denver in general, and probably even for his individual matchup, I would assume. 3 targets, 2 catches, 18 yards. What the heck? You know what? Let's fire up Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington. Like, I don't know. I mean, it sounds weird. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound good. But like that's the reality we're dealing with this season. So I really wouldn't blame you for going either way there. I mean, they're dead even in points per game. Um, Technically, it's not bad process because Parker Washington has scored more points per game than Brian Thomas this year, and he has a better matchup, most likely. Um, so I don't think it's that crazy. He's better last week by a lot. Um, I feel like Trevor Lawrence likes throwing to the middle of the field. I mean, we saw that for years with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. Um, we're seeing it now with Parker Washington, and we saw a breakout game from Travis Hunter right before he got injured. Both those guys playing in the slot. Brenton Strange has been pretty solid this year. So it just kind of seems like that's what Trevor Lawrence likes to do. So I'm going to be bold here. Let's start Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers. I mean, I wouldn't fault you for going either way. I'll continue to think about it because it is a tough one, but I think that's the way I'm leaning right now. But yeah, thanks for the question. As always, let's see. Next in the chat here. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Let's get it. Oh, yeah. So let's get it. It says, I can't believe BTJ this year. He was like an early second rounder. Yeah. I mean, it's been absolutely brutal. I mean, he's been an absolute bust. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he comes alive here as the Jaguars are coming alive. I mean, it has been a little better for him lately, minus the last game. I mean, before that, he basically had like 12 and 17 fantasy points, but it still hasn't been incredible. I mean, he hasn't been getting like a ton of targets. I mean, even in those games, he only had 6 and 7 targets. So yeah, in a full PPR league, I mean, I feel like Parker Washington has probably a better chance to just kind of be a PPR scam this week. So yeah, I think I kind of like Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington a little more than BTJ this week, but it is pretty close between all three of them. And then let's see. Kamek says, I didn't watch the Packer game and I had to look on Google and I thought King Henry's stats were an error on Google at first. Genuinely, LOL. My God, that's hilarious. I mean, hey, I can't blame you. I mean, 36 carries. I mean, how often in the NFL anymore do we see 36 carries for a running back in a game? I mean, you just do not see that anymore. I mean, it's even the most Derrick Henry has had all season by far. So, like, who would have seen that coming? And with Lamar Jackson out, Tyler Huntley's in there. They're on the road at Green Bay. I mean, the only thing that really indicated a big Derrick Henry game is that he tends to get better as the season goes along. I mean, this tends to be his time of year. But even then, like, he hasn't been setting the world on fire lately or this year in general. So it was out of nowhere a little bit. I mean, not that it's shocking because Derrick Henry can always do this late in the season. But man, I mean, this year has definitely felt a little disappointing for Derrick Henry. So yeah, I mean, I was not thinking this was going to happen today. So yeah, pretty wild. Definitely don't blame you for thinking that was some kind of glitch online. Then let's get it. Says yeah, because BTJ got less than 20 yards in a game where Lawrence got like 5 passing touchdowns. That's crazy. LOL. Yeah, that does sound pretty wild. I mean, that the supposed number one receiver in a huge game for Trevor Lawrence is just like, that irrelevant. And so wait, which game was that? That was against the Jets. Okay, are you referring to the Jets game? Because BTJ did have 66 yards in that game. Oh, wait, are you talking about last week? Because I think Trevor Lawrence had, 4 touchdowns? Wasn't it like 3 passing and 1 rushing? And yeah, Brian Thomas just had 18 receiving yards. So yeah, that is kind of crazy either way there. Hey, we got Jacob in here. Welcome. You say tight end premium, start 2 of Darren Waller, Devonta Smith, Taysom Hill. And you also add my lineup is down horrendous. Okay. All right. So you're trailing in your matchup. You need some upside here. I mean, that'd probably be the one scenario where you could actually consider guys like Taysom Hill and Waller who are, kind of feast or famine. Let me know if there's any kind of tight end premium in this league, but I'm going to assume that there's no tight end premium and it's just like a normal full PPR league. I mean, I got to start Devonta Smith. I mean, I guess you could kind of talk me into the 2 desperation feast or famine guys and Waller and Taysom if you really wanted to do it. I mean, Taysom is like the big question mark this week because like his role as basically the Saints starting running back essentially could continue this week, but it's so tricky because in the game where Devin Neal went down 2 weeks ago, Taysom Hill was not like the main backup that came in and took over for Devin Neal. It was Audric Estime. But then that changed last week, presumably because it was Taysom Hill's final home game in New Orleans. So they probably made a special point to get him the football and kind of, let him go out in a blaze of glory, his big swan song there in New Orleans. So it could easily just go right back to Taysom Hill being irrelevant, getting a few touches a game, and Audric Estime's the 1A, just starting running back for the Saints. And, who knows what their backfield looks like next week. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we could see more Evan Neal mixed in as well randomly. It could be a three-way committee between Estime, Hall, and Taysom Hill. So I don't know what to expect there. I mean, you could get a 0. You could get, 30 or 40 points from Taysom like we've seen it before. So I don't hate it as an upside swing if you're just completely desperate at this point. I do think Waller gives you maybe a similar ceiling, maybe not quite as high as Taysom Hill. So I think I'm leaning Devonta Smith because I think he's just the process play. I think he's due for a big game. I think, he got you here. Should be a lot of points scored between Eagles and Bills. I don't care if there's snow or what the weather says. Doesn't matter to me. And so, yeah, I'm going to go Devonta Smith because, I think, he's got pretty good upside too. I don't know if Waller, does Waller have more upside than Devonta Smith? Like, probably not, unless it's like a 1.0 tight end premium or something like that. But if there's no tight end premium, definitely give me Devonta Smith, and we'll throw Taysom Hill in there. It's either going to be like 0 points or 30 points, but hey, at least it gives you a chance at a miracle here. And then that's really what you're after. So I think this is the perfect scenario to fire up Taysom Hill. And yeah, but with Devonta Smith, don't get too cute. You're still starting him. He still has upside. He could still go off in any given week, especially in a game environment like Eagles Bills could turn out to be. But yeah, good question there, Jacob. By the way, we've got 7 people in here. Good to have everyone here. Drop me a like if I have answered your question. And yeah, drop your start sit questions. I'm going to answer every single one of them here. Going to help you guys win some championships, hopefully. So yeah, we'll get back to the chat here. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Okay. So let's get it. Says, glad I didn't start Andrews tonight, but Taysom Hill will be the running back / tight end / receiver this game. I know it's risky for the championship, but YOLO ? Yeah, so I pretty much have already addressed that, but hey, it's definitely an interesting question there, and it's definitely possible. He kind of does it all. He even threw a touchdown last week. So yeah, you never know with Taysom Hill. He could just like randomly score 4 touchdowns when you least expect it. Although I guess we wouldn't be too shocked this week because he's coming off a big game where he scored like 20 plus points. So yeah, anything's possible. So yeah, I think he's the perfect guy to throw in there and just say YOLO if you're desperate this week. Yeah, definitely don't hate that in that situation. But just know that you could easily get a goose egg. So I wouldn't get cute with Taysom Hill, and I wouldn't just assume that's continue. He is truly a desperation start. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're starting him in those desperate situations, and probably not anywhere else would be my recommendation, because I just want more of a sure thing in the finals for fantasy football personally. Then we got Edson Santos. Welcome. He says, what up? Tried warning about Drake London with a couple of laughing emojis. Wait a minute. Am I missing something here? Is Drake London? Oh, you're talking about Drake London, what Drake London did last week. Hey, fair enough. Good call there, Edson. I still think it was pretty good process to fire him up. He's just too good of a player. Obviously, there's always going to be risk with starting a player in his first game back from injury. So this is certainly a reminder of that. But, I was very aware of that when I'm sure I said to fire up London. I still think I'll take that chance, in most of those situations. In a player's first game back from injury, like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. He did play 69% of snaps, so it's not like he was too limited from a snap perspective. He was out there for the most part. He got 8 targets too. He just didn't come down with a lot of them. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with the connection with Cousins. Maybe it just wasn't a good game. I mean, variance happens. So I still think the process was pretty good to start London. In a pretty good matchup against the Cardinals. I definitely don't have any regrets about that in terms of my process. But hey, good call on your part for sure. Let's see. And then we got, yeah, chat's jumping around on me. So let me find my spot here. Um, okay. Hey, we got Ray Gamer in here. Good to see you. You say, hi, do you think I should go Pats or Seahawks defense? I sat Texans defense, who looked like, um, yeah. So we got our first defensive question here. So you want to go with either Patriots or Seahawks? I mean, the Seahawks have definitely been one of the better fantasy defenses this year. Um, they're playing the Panthers this week. Not too bad of a matchup there, even on the road in Carolina. And then let's see the Patriots. Okay, they're playing the Jets this week, of course. And it looks like that game is in New York. Yeah, game's in New York or New Jersey. So, that's a tough one. I think I'm probably going with Seahawks. I mean, they've been the better fantasy defense this year. I'm assuming for your scoring in your league. Let me know if I'm not correct in that assumption. Um, but yeah, both defenses are on the road. I think I'm just going to fire up the better defensive unit. I mean, they're both pretty good matchups. If you have a gut feeling, I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind starting a defense against Brady Cook and the Jets there. So definitely think they're both good starts this week. I'm going to lean slightly toward the Seahawks because, you know, they're the defense that got you here. So, I mean, I do care more about matchups for fantasy defenses, for DSTs than any other position. So if you do really love the matchup against the Jets better, wouldn't blame you for starting the Pats. But I feel like the matchups are close enough that I'll just take the better defense in the Seahawks. But yeah, so that's a close one though. That's an interesting one. But I'm just gonna roll with the DST that got me here. Good question though. And then Ray Gamer also says they were going to get 20 points. Oh, okay. You're talking about the Texans defense, I think, here. They were going to get 20 points and ended up with 9. Maybe one of these defenses will do better. Thinking emoji. And should I wait for Kittle to play? If not, I add Tongues and just go with Fannin Jr. and non PPR. Oh gosh, man, you have Kittle and Fannin. That's crazy. I mean, my God, I mean, those have to be like two of the best tight ends that you could have this week. Well, I mean, I guess aside from the Kittle injury and his uncertainty, I'll see if there's any update on Kittle. I mean, I've been tracking that as well because I definitely own multiple shares of him, and wondering myself whether I'm going to be firing him up or not. I have picked up some Jake Tongues as well. So yeah, let's see what the latest is on Kittle. Let's see if there's any kind of update here. All right. So he's still listed as questionable, shaping up his game time decision. It says Kittle plans. Okay, I'm just reading this on Sleeper. Kittle plans to work out before Sunday night's game against the Bears to determine if he will be able to play versus Chicago. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network reports. So yeah, it does sound like a true game time decision here. I mean, Jake Tongues was pretty good when Kittle was injured earlier this season. So I don't, if you really love Kittle and hoping he plays and you want to start him, it's a good match against the Bears too. Wouldn't blame you for waiting on Kittle and just rolling with Jake Tongues if he's out. As long as he's on your bench or you have the roster space and you can pick him up, at that time in that scenario, or maybe you have an IR slot you can move him to. Just make sure you have that in place. Make sure that you can do that. But man, I mean, Fannin is such a great start as well. I mean, I know he was added to the injury report on what was it, Thursday, I want to say. So that makes you a little nervous, but last I heard, he's still expected to play. He's got an amazing matchup against the Steelers, who are just, always brutal against tight ends this year, and just feels like in general. Fannin's been pretty hot lately. I mean, basically damn near 20 points in 2 of his last 3 games. Been getting a ton of targets. So yeah, let's see if there's any injury update on Fannin. Okay, it says expected to play, despite being the late addition to the injury report. Expected to play according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN.com. So I'm not really too worried. I mean, it definitely seems like there's a better chance that Kittle misses the game than Fannin. So
I definitely don't mind just rolling with Fannin. I mean, I think that's probably what I would do. I mean, I can't say I'm confident that Kittle's going to play. There's definitely a chance. I wouldn't like assume he's not going to play. I wouldn't write him off. Um, I don't know if I had to guess, it does feel like it's either a true 50-50, flip of a coin for Kittle, or maybe he's even slightly on the negative side of it. I know Blake indicated that to me in a text. I don't know if he has, some kind of inside scoop, or he saw some kind of special report that indicated that he feels good about. But it does sound like, for what it's worth, yeah, I just was talking to Blake, texting with him like an hour, within the last hour or so, and I'm trying to remember what player it was, but he was basically saying that he's kind of just assuming that he's starting a tight end in an earlier game over Kittle, and he's just kind of going to assume that Kittle's going to be out this week. I mean, I think it was a decent option though. I mean, I don't know. I could pull up my text messages with Blake. I am kind of curious now. Here, let me see if I can just find it real quick. Okay, wait, here it is. I think. Let's see. Okay. So this was probably in a tight end premium league of some kind, because Blake mostly plays in dynasty leagues, and most of them are tight end premium. So Blake said that he had just traded for Kenneth Gainwell in this league called Waste Management. And that's actually a heavy tight end premium league. That's like a 1.0 tight end premium league. So, I mean, Kittle's like a monster in that league. So, if Blake is going to start Kenneth Gainwell, who's been great, over George Kittle and a 1.0 tight end premium on top of, one PPR in that league as well, I mean, that kind of says something. So I don't know exactly what that's based on. Maybe it's just a gut feeling. But take that for what it's worth. I mean, I definitely do think there's a legitimate chance Kittle plays, but it's kind of a coin flip. So I would definitely make sure you have a backup plan. And if you have a tight end as good as Fannin, I'd probably just roll with Fannin personally. That's just too good of a tight end to set for a tight end like Kittle who might not even play. So that's my thought on it. I would play Fannin, assuming he's active. So make sure you confirm that before kickoff tomorrow. Good question, though. Let's see. And getting back to the chat here. And by the way, if you guys do want a live stream, basically tomorrow, right before kickoff, probably like an hour before kickoff, let's set a like goal for the stream. I won't make it, too ridiculous or anything. We have 3 likes right now. I mean, there might not be quite as many people in here as normal, just between the holidays and, a lot of people have been eliminated by this point in the season. I mean, hey, we only got the finals contenders left in here. So let's set a like goal. Okay, we're up to 4 now. Can we say 8 likes? I think that's pretty reasonable, given the context of everything. So if we get to 8 likes, I will do another live stream tomorrow, like around an hour before kickoff. And hey, a lot can change between now and then. Like, we might have some surprising injury updates, and just another opportunity to ask your questions, and for me to weigh in on things. And I'll also if you even want to ask the same question tomorrow that you asked tonight, I will have had a night to sleep on it and kind of narrow down like my thought process, and I'll probably have some, even firmer takes on some of these start set recommendations. So definitely drop a like if you want to see a live stream before kickoff tomorrow. But yeah, back to the chat here. Let's see. Okay, Ray Gamer. Okay, we answered that. And Ray Gamer says liked with a thumbs up. Appreciate that. And then we have Michael Regine in here. That sounds like a new name. If so, welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. And you asked Saints or Rams going for a championship repeat. Hey, that's awesome. Love to hear it. So Saints or Rams, I'm assuming that's DST defense. So let's look at the matchup. So yeah, Rams, of course, are playing on Monday night at the Falcons. I mean, I do think that game could be a bit of a shootout. I mean, the Rams defense has been pretty solid this year, if I am not mistaken. And the Saints defense, let's take a look at them. They are at the Titans. Okay. So both defenses are on the road. I mean, I'm sure the Rams have been the better fantasy defense this year, but it does seem like the Saints have the better matchup. Although I don't know. I mean, the Titans have been heating up lately. So gosh, I mean, that doesn't feel great. The Saints on the road against kind of I mean, I'm not saying the Titans offense is some juggernaut now, but I mean, we've seen some players come to life in recent weeks. Pollard, Spears, Chigo Conquo. They're finding a little bit of life. So I'm not gonna treat them like complete garbage here. But I mean, it's not a terrible matchup for the Saints. I mean, I do wish they were at home. So man, that is kind of a tough one. Gosh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins could always make some mistakes. I mean, didn't Kirk Cousins being bad on primetime used to be a thing? So I don't know. Like, if you don't have a great option here, do you maybe just sort of lean into that and hope that, that narrative comes back? Heck, let's go with it. Let's fire up the Rams DST. I don't love it, but I don't love the Saints either. So, you know, wouldn't blame you if you played the Saints. I mean, if you just think it's a better matchup against the Titans, but I think I'll fire up the Rams. They've been better. Maybe they'll make a big play, get some turnovers, maybe score a touchdown or something. So yeah, I don't feel strongly about it. I don't feel good with either defense there. But I'll say the Rams DST for now. But good question. Hope you get that repeat. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, let me know if you have any other start sit questions. And then Edson Santos says, should I keep Packers D for next season on Dynasty? Kind of disappointing season for them, but I don't know. Okay. Well, Edson, let me know how many teams are in this league. The only Dynasty league I was ever in that had defense, it was a 16-team league. So, you could almost, never drop a fantasy defense unless you were picking one up. But they were rarely ever on the waiver wire because basically, everyone could, only roster two. And so you were just kind of stuck with what you had, and defense can change so much year to year. So just because the Packers defense was, just because they weren't good this year doesn't mean that they're not going to be awesome next year for all we know. So yeah, I probably wouldn't drop them unless you're picking up a defense that I guess you just feel better about for next season for whatever reason. But it's so hard to even say. I mean, so much is going to change between now and next season, free agency, the draft, coaching changes potentially. So yeah, I mean, unless it's just a no-brainer upgrade to another defense, I would just hang on to the Packers defense in Dynasty. But yeah, that is kind of unusual to have defense in a Dynasty league. But I was actually in a league like that, and it was even crazier because it was 16 leagues. So yeah, I'd be careful about dropping a defense unless you're picking up another defense. But let me know how many teams are in the league and how often defenses are on waiver wire how many defenses are typically on the waiver wire at any given moment in that league? Let me know because that would kind of help to have that context. Or also just let me know what player or defense you'd be dropping them for because that matters a lot, obviously. And then Edson Santos also says, I probably should have read this verse. I could drop and stash more skilled players. That's the alternative. Okay. I mean, I guess it depends on what it is. I mean, I think, are you the one that we were talking about, good stashes in Dynasty? I recommended Jordan Watkins is one. I mean, if you're just picking up someone like that, I mean, they're fun players to stash. I'd probably just keep the Packers defense, but let me know how many teams are in the league. That'd be really helpful to know. And then let's get it says up. The chat jumped around at me. Gotta love it when it does that. And hey, we got 10 people in here. Definitely drop a like if you would be so kind, or if I answered your question. And if we get to 8 likes, I will do another live stream tomorrow before kickoff. But in any case, I'm answering everyone's question in here. So back to the live chat. Okay, let's get it. Says, what are we thinking about Henderson this week? Is Fumbleson going to take the spotlight? Haha. So I'm assuming that is referring to Mr. Ramondre Stevenson there. I mean, I know Henderson is on the injury report this week, unless he was taken off. I don't own any Travion Henderson, sadly. So let me check on his status here. I am playing against Henderson in a finals this week in a Dynasty league, so I'm hoping he doesn't go too nuts this week, personally. Okay, it says he clears the concussion protocol, will play this week. Okay, so you're not worried about that. I'm assuming Ramondre is healthy, right? I mean, is he questionable or anything like that? Let me just check on that. Ramondre is okay. Yeah, looks like he's healthy. So I don't know. I mean, has Ramondre been doing much lately? I mean, last game, okay. Almost 18 fantasy points, 8 carries, 51 yards, a touchdown, 3 targets, 2 catches, 27 yards. So yeah, he continues to be a little bit of a thorn in the side. Let's see how Henderson's been lately. I know he had that big game in week 15 against the Bills. Okay, and then last week, oh good lord, 2 fantasy points, 5 carries, three. Okay, he might. I'm assuming yeah he got injured in this game. So okay, so I can't hold that against him too much. He's healthy now. It's a great matchup at the Jets. Okay, so let's see. What was the exact question? Were you just asking? Okay, yeah. What are we thinking about Henderson this week? I think he's a good start. Like, yeah, I mean, I think most of Ramondo's production, I'm assuming, was because Henderson got injured. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about Henderson too much. I mean, he'll still be like a little annoying, but yeah, I think Henderson's a good start this week. So yeah, I would not be afraid to fire up Henderson. I mean, bad things can happen when you bench him, as we saw in week 15, and yeah, especially in a good matchup. So yeah, fire up Henderson if you got him, unless you just have absolutely elite options, that you can play over him. And then Ray Gamer says, I wish Kittle played earlier and not Sunday night. And is wait, oh, and is wait GTD good? Are you trying to say good to go? Oh, game time decision. Okay, and his game time decision pretty stressing, with a nervous emoji there. Yeah, I mean, I definitely hate these kind of situations where the player's questionable and they play in the late game, and then you have to have the some kind of handcuff, and then if you get sniped on Jake Tongues on waivers, then it's like, oh well, then then what tight ends can you pick up? I mean, Colby Parkinson probably is not available. He plays in the Monday night game, and I mean, who else? I mean, maybe you'd have to pick up someone like Terrence Ferguson. I mean, he's been playing more snaps lately. Talented rookie tight end with some upside. Had a decent game last week, so maybe that's someone you could pick up as like an emergency handcuff. I wouldn't hate that. So I think Terrence Ferguson's probably a decent option for that if you can't get Jake Tongues as a handcuff for Kittle. Is there anyone else you could pick up? I don't know. I mean, Cole Kmet. I mean, is he even healthy? I don't know. I could check on that. If you want some, recommend. I mean, basically, you're stuck. It's anyone playing in that Niners Bears game or Falcons Rams. So there are not too many options. I mean, probably just Terrence Ferguson and maybe Cole Kmet if he's healthy. I could check on that. And I guess I mean, maybe if you're really deep and desperate, like maybe like a Davis Allen on the Rams. I mean, they do use a lot of 3 tight end sets. What is that? 13 personnel. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah, Cole Kmet's healthy, but yeah, he hasn't been doing much. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I do hate those situations, but that is one reason why I do support the auto sub feature on Sleeper, where you can um, basically choose like a backup to auto sub in if your starter is ruled out. And I especially like it when the auto sub player can be in an earlier game, because there is a setting where you can like toggle like whether to allow that or not. Some leagues only on Sleeper only allow you to have an auto sub that plays at the same time or later, which I think kind of defeats a lot of the purpose of it. So yeah, I think that is a good reason to both play on Sleeper and vote in auto sub. If you don't have it, bring it up in the league chat, ask your commissioner to put a poll up and take a vote on it, and also take a vote on whether to allow the auto sub to be in an earlier game than the starter. I think that's really important too. I think that should be allowed for exactly this reason, for exactly situations like this with a highly questionable George Kittle playing in the Sunday night game. So yeah, something to keep in mind, and heck, vote on it in the offseason, and then you want to worry about this next year. Let's see. And then Edson Santos says it's not that London and Kirk just ain't a great match with it being his first game back, just not a good stack. Um, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you're saying it's not about Drake London and Kirk Cousins not being a good match with each other. It was just more about his first game back. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, there is risk with starting a player in his first game back from injury. Yet we also see a lot of times it's like no big deal and player will have a monster game. I mean, look at Mike Evans in his first game back a few weeks ago. What did he put up? Like 160 yards in his first game back. And, I had him benched in the league because like, ooh, I'm kind of nervous about that first game back. Because his previous first game back, a handful of weeks prior to that, he came back, I believe it was against the Lions, and he got re-injured in that game. It was just like, oh man, this is why you don't, this is why it's risky to start players in the first game back. So, it can really go either way. But yeah, it is some added risk. So that's fair. Let's see here. Next question is, let's see, where do we leave off here? Okay. Edson Santos. Oh, Edson Santos says, how good is AJ Barner long term? Yeah, AJ Barner's been interesting. I mean, he's definitely has overproduced this season. I don't think anyone expected him to be as good as he has been. Um, I mean, he's not like the fastest or most talented tight end in the world, but he seems to know how to play the game, and he's been getting it done. I mean, this year for the most part. I mean, he's been the Seahawks' main receiving tight end. Um, he's been pretty good for fantasy. I mean, I think he's at least like a top 16 or so tight end, probably in most formats. I could double check that right here. But yeah, I mean, he's not the most exciting guy in the world, but he's a guy I wouldn't just completely write off or underestimate. Um, some players are just good at football, even if they're, not the fastest runners or the best athletes or, whatever the case may be. I do feel like it's a little more rare for tight ends, but we do see players in this kind of archetype, like whether it's Dalton Schultz or Jake Ferguson. Like, none of these guys are like super athletic, but they know how to get open. At least in zone. If not in man, and can catch the ball. And I mean, they're probably all pretty good blockers. For them to be on the field as much as they are. So that's worth something. So it doesn't always have to be the flashiest thing in the world. So, I mean, I did trade for Barner in a dynasty league with a 0.75 tight end premium, and he was really just depth. Like I haven't even like I've hardly even started him this year. But he's just kind of nice depth to have. I mean, I could even flex him if I'm desperate. And I basically was willing to pay like a 26 fourth for him. So um, I mean, in terms of like what he's worth right now, I mean, it probably depends on the tight end premium. So I mean, let me know what the format and scoring settings of the league in question are here, and I could kind of give you more thoughts on like what I think Barner is worth in Dynasty. But I mean, it's still probably just like a late pick, like maybe a third or a fourth, like depending on your format. But I think he's a nice guy to have. I mean, especially in tight end premium leagues, in the bigger tight end premium leagues, like I think he's a nice tight end to have on your bench. But yeah, thanks for the question though. And then you also say dynasty wise, top 15 tight end. That's interesting. I mean, I'd probably have to pull up I could pull up keep trade cut real quick and just take a quick look at that and just kind of see like what the top 15 are. I can kind of give you a little opinion on that. I'll pull that up here real quick. Let's see, keep trade cut, and I will go to rankings. Sorry, I can't screen share right now. Otherwise, I'd show you guys what I'm looking at here. Hopefully, I will be able to do that sometime in the future. I can do that when I'm on with Blake, but I can't do it when I'm solo. Long story. But yeah, I'm pulling up the tight end rankings here. Okay, I'll uncheck quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and picks. And let's see what we're left with here. Okay. So keep trade cut for what it's worth has them as the tight end 19. So tight ends that they have ahead of him are Dallas Goddard, T.J. Hawkinson, Isaiah Likely, Theo Johnson, Mason Taylor, Brenton Strange, Dalton Kincaid, Jake Ferguson, Kyle Pitts, and then you start getting into the elite guys. Yeah, I'm going from like 19-1. Okay, so tight end 9-1 is Kittle, Gadsden, Laporta, Loveland, Fannin, Kraft, Tyler Warren, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers. So that's how Keep Trade Cut has it. That's just like crowdsourced. You know, I'm not putting too much weight into it, but just sort of a list to look at here. But yeah, in terms of where I would put AJ Barner, and if I would put like any players ahead of him, or if any of the players ahead of him there, I'd put behind him. I mean, I guess you could probably argue like maybe Dallas Goddard should be behind him just because he's like pushing 30. Hawkinson hasn't had a good year. He's getting up there in age. I mean, Isaiah Likely is such a tough guy to kind of know what to make of in Dynasty. I love his upside, but kind of hard to count on. I could see him being a few spots higher. So I mean, if you had him as a top 15 tight end, like I don't think it's crazy. I mean, I would probably say like around tight end 19 is probably about right. Because I mean, there are even some tight ends behind him that I could argue should probably be over him. Like I would take Terrence Ferguson over AJ Barner pretty easily. That's probably about it, though. Although I mean, if you're a contender, I mean, you could argue for guys like I guess like Hunter Henry, David Njoku, Jawan Johnson. Well, I mean, probably not David Njoku because he's been terrible this year. But I do think he's kind of sneaky. Like I could see him bouncing back next year. Maybe he ends up on another team. Anyways, won't go too deep into tight ends here. But yeah, I'd probably say like tight end 19 that Keep Trade Cut has him at is probably about right. I would put Ferguson over him, which I guess would put him at tight end 20. But I think you could argue it's probably a toss up between like Dallas Goddard and AJ Barner and like Hawkinson. So yeah, I think tight end 19 is just about right. And then let's see, we have Vincent Ruff. Welcome. You say you like Corley or Mumfield in half PPR, 1 point for every 10 kick return yards. Okay, interesting. Does that also include punt return yards or only kick return yards? Let me know about that. Makes a little bit of a difference. I'll just assume that's all return yards. That's usually how it is. Okay, so it's a half PPR, but you get 1 point for every 10 return yards. Okay, yeah. I mean, I actually do play in one dynasty league where it counts return yards, and it actually gives you a point for every 7 return yards. So that can actually make a pretty big difference. I didn't even realize Mumfield return kicks. Let me just like double check on that real quick here. Um, Here, I will go. I'll go to my league here where it scores the return yards. Let's take a look at that. Actually, I just picked up Mumfield on this exact team, so I'm pulling up my team here. Clicking on Kanata Mumfield, looking at his game log. Okay, no, yeah, he doesn't return kicks. Okay, so you probably weren't trying to imply that, but I'm assuming Corley does. Let me pull up his player card here. Yeah, I mean, Corley's been pretty far off my radar this year. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he's playing for the Browns. I think I knew that, but I mean, Corley's pretty far off my radar. Okay. Yeah, he definitely is returning kickoffs here. Looks like he's done a pretty good job with it. Yeah, I mean, he's had 100 return yards in 2 games since week 8. So that's not too shabby there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be getting a little cute to like put too much weight into that, though I get that it does count. It does matter. I'm not just going to disregard it for sure. But yeah, Corley really doesn't catch too many passes. I mean, he did have 4 targets last week, 2 catches, 11 yards, but I mean, you're basically lucky if he catches a pass. I mean, it's pretty much just the return yards you're getting. Um, so yeah, I guess that could make it close between him and Mumfield. It's not like either's an incredible start this week. I mean, both are kind of desperation options here. But hey, sometimes we all find ourselves in a spot like that sometimes. So no shame in that whatsoever. I think I would still lean Kanata Mumfield. He did have 8 targets last week. I do think this could be a shootout between Rams and Falcons. But hey, I mean, your league better than me. You know the scoring better than me. If you feel like Corley's just more likely to get you points with those return yards, I don't think it's crazy because, like I said, I play in a league that counts them, and I know it can make a difference. So can't say I have like a strong feeling about that. I think you could make a case either way, but I'm going to lean slightly toward the receiver get the more targets and catches and everything like that. But go with your gut. Like you definitely know your league better than I do. And we got K Space in here who says, yo, hey, welcome. Good to have you here. And let's see, we got Michael Regine in here who says, if you have Kittle, get tongues. Yeah, I think that's good advice. Then you definitely don't have to worry about the late kickoff in the Sunday night game with Kittle and if he ends up being late and active. So, yeah, definitely good call with tongues there. And, hey, we got to 8 likes, so we are doing another stream tomorrow before kickoff. So thank you all for the support. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, hey, we can still keep the likes going up. There's no rule that we got to stop at 8. So if I answer your question, definitely drop me a like. I would appreciate it. That's all I ask in return. And yeah, I will make sure I answer every question here before I sign off. Appreciate all the questions in here. Great having everyone in here. I'm excited that this many viewers are in the finals. So like, that's absolutely amazing. I'm hoping I can help you guys win some championships, win some money here. So yeah, let's make some good decisions here with our start sets. And let's see where we left off in the chat here. It looks like we have, this always jumps around on me, so apologies for that. Okay, I think I found my spot. K-Space says, full PPR, Godwin or Shakir for the championship. Already got it Jones with his first solid performance of the year. Such a good choice. And benching Reed and Dobbs as good too. Okay. Yeah, so glad you're making some good choices there. and I must be completely blanking because who the heck is Jones? I know it's not Daniel Jones because he's out for the year. Uh, what Jones just played? Help me out here. It's late, but anyways, probably doesn't matter too much. The point is, you're off to a good start. Love to hear that. And so you're asking in a full PPR, Godwin or Shakir. All right, so championship on the line here. What am I doing in that situation? I mean, I don't feel great about Baker. I mean, I started him last week in a dynasty league and got bounced because he came up pretty small. Uh, so I don't feel great about Godwin. I think he's fine. It feels a little boring. I mean, it's a pretty good matchup against the Dolphins, so I definitely don't hate Godwin this week by any means. But I don't know. The Bucks have so many receivers; you kind of never know whose week it's going to be. He's only had 50 receiving yards in the past 2 weeks combined. Not getting a ton of targets, 5, 8, 5, 6 over the past 4 games. I mean, the production has been okay, at least in a full PPR league, I guess. Doesn't feel super exciting. I don't know. Maybe he's due for a big breakout game as he, gets acclimated. He's only been back for 5 weeks now. So I don't know. I think he's a fine start. Nothing special. Nothing I feel amazing about. I mean, if it's the worst player in your lineup, that's fine. But you also do have Shakir. I mean, I guess he feels a little more exciting. I don't know if he should or not. Maybe that's fool's gold. Maybe it's just because he's younger and hasn't been injured for a lot of the year. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the fact that we did see a spike week from Shakir not too long ago in week 12 at Houston. 10 targets, 8 catches, 110 yards. So maybe that's why it feels. Or wait, actually, wait. I think this is in a league with weird scoring. So yeah, you probably didn't have 32 fantasy points in most leagues. Here, I'll pull up a more normal league. I was in my weird league where like the return yardage counts, and they have a bunch of weird like first down bonuses and big play bonuses and all kinds of stuff. So I'll pull it up in a normal league here. So, but let's look at Shakir's player card. But yeah, he has had a couple spike weeks this year. Okay, so yeah, in a normal league, yeah, 17 fantasy points in that week 12 game at Houston. He also had about 21 points week 8 at Carolina, 7 targets, 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, Shakir, he's good after the catch. Like he's a fun player. He can like make some big plays on occasion. I mean, the Josh Allen does like to spread the ball out quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, Shakir isn't the most exciting player in the world either. I mean, what would I do with the money on the line here? He's home against the Eagles. I think I just have a better feeling about that game. I think I would lean toward Shakir slightly. Can't say I have a strong feeling about it. So if you have a gut feeling about it, feel free to go with that. Trust your gut. Which player do you have in there right now? Because, usually like your first instinct probably told you to put in one over the other at first. And, first instincts are usually right. So if you have someone in there, maybe you just keep it. I think I'd lean Shakir slightly, but I really have like zero conviction about it. That's just kind of a coin toss. But I do feel like Eagles-Bills could be pretty high scoring. So kind of just want to get a piece of that. So yeah, I'll lean Shakir slightly, but man, you could go either way with that one. That is definitely a tough question. So appreciate the question. K-Space says, have Hurts, Barkley, Kyron, Devonta Smith, Shakir, McBride, Aaron Jones, or other flexes. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a continuation of your question. Okay, so this is your starting lineup then. Hurts, Barkley, Kyron, receivers, Devonta Smith. Okay, so you have Shakir in there right now. So there you go. Okay, so we kind of had the same thought there. McBride, your tight end. Aaron Jones is your flex spot. And yeah, Aaron Jones already played. I think he was solid against the Lions. I didn't see too much of that game though, with it being on Christmas. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, you don't have any like stack to break the tie. Like you're not starting. It's not like Baker or Josh Allen's your quarterback, so you don't have that to break the tie. Yeah, I would stick with Shakir. You got him in there. You thought the same thing. Let's just stick with Shakir. Let's hope that's a crazy high scoring game between the Bills and Eagles. I think that could be a fun one. Oh, then Edson says 12 team. There's always defenses on the waiver. Okay. Well, hey, in that case, I wouldn't be that terrified then. I mean, defenses change so much every year in terms of which ones are good, which ones are bad. So yeah, if you can stash an extra player, like, and there's a player you want to stash that maybe you think he has a big, week this week or next week, and maybe he goes up in value. Yeah, then feel free to drop the Packers. Yeah, but yeah, that helps to know. K-Space says smash like. Hey, appreciate that. And then we have Alenda Blitz. I think that looks like a new name. So, hey, welcome to the channel. You say need one, Flex, Pollard, BTJ, or Michael Carter, full PPR. Okay, so let's answer that question first. Pollard, BTJ, or Michael Carter? I'm going Pollard. Like, he's been pretty hot lately. It seems like the Titans are heating up. BTJ doesn't feel great. I mean, he's fine. Michael Carter, great matchup, but still just kind of a desperation start. And that Cardinals backfield could always flip on an instant. Like, would we be shocked if like suddenly this week like Demercado got the lion's share of the carries? Not saying that's going to happen, but like would not be surprised. I mean, it's kind of feels like it's been in flux all season. So yeah, just give me Tony Pollard. He's been heating up. Titans heating up. That feels pretty good. Not scared of the Saints matchup. So yeah, let's fire up Tony Pollard. And for the defense, Jags or Eagles, definitely don't feel good about starting the Eagles against the Bills. So the Jags are playing the Colts, and that doesn't feel amazing either. Man, so any other options on waivers? I mean, I was actually recommending the Vikings defense, not on stream, but like, well, for what it's worth, my dad asked my advice for a defense this week, and I told him to play the Vikings. And hey, we're Lions fans, and he thought it was kind of weird at first, but I talked him into it, and hey, that paid off pretty well. I mean, I've said it a bunch. Lions never play well in Minnesota, so I was not too surprised by that outcome, sadly. But yeah, let me know if there are any good defenses on waivers. But if I had to pick one of those two, I guess give me the Jags. Yeah, I'll take the Jags. But let me know if there are any other good defenses on waivers. Let's get it. Says opponent has Olave, which I hope is ruled out, but probably not, and also the New Orleans quarterback. So a stack. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, not fun playing against stacks. For the same reason why it's to your advantage to have stacks on your own team. But hey, it could work out in your favor. If the Saints offense has a bad day, like, you're going to be feeling pretty good. So hopefully it works out in your favor. And let me take a sip of water here as we get to the next question. Definitely drop me a like if you could. We're almost 10 likes. Not that we need that for the like goal, but hey, it'd still be cool to get to 10 likes. So drop me a like if you'd be so kind. All right. Needed that. So we have Michael Regine here who says wide receiver, full PPR. I have a Buka. He is not getting it done. Not pretty, but options are Parker Washington, Shamir DK. For my flex, Michael Carter or Dottle. I also have Corum, but I am starting Kyron Williams. Okay, interesting. So I'm assuming you need, one wide receiver to replace Ibuka, who is, I agree, definitely not getting it done lately. So your options are Parker Washington and Shamir DK. Let me see if Shamir DK has done anything, but my gut's telling me Parker Washington. He's been really solid this year, coming off a monster game. Should be a great matchup from the slot against the Indianapolis Colts. Fantasy points was really talking up Parker Washington this week in one of their videos I was watching. So I'm feeling pretty decent about Parker Washington, at least as like a desperation option. I mean, at the worst. I think you could even argue he's better than BTJ this week. I mean, I made that very recommendation earlier. Okay, yeah. Let me see what DK's done lately. He's kind of up and down. So let's see what he's done in the past few games. Okay, nothing too much. Yeah, let's fire Parker Washington. Definitely going Parker Washington there. That's pretty easy for me. And for the flex, Michael Carter or Dottle. And you also have Corum, but you are starting Kyron Williams. You know what? I might just start both Rams running backs. I mean, that should be a crazy high-scoring game. I mean, Kyron and Corum have both been producing lately. I really don't think it's that crazy to start both of them, unless you think that you're down by a lot and you really need to like maximize your ceiling, and you don't want to like limit your ceiling at all by having two running backs on the same team. But honestly, I mean, I think they could both produce. I mean, that's what they've been doing the past several weeks. So I wouldn't worry about it. It also is a good matchup against the Falcons. I think they're both good starts this week. So I do not feel good about Dottle. I mean, he's just been doing nothing lately. Michael Carter is just like, meh. I mean, he might be okay, but like, I don't want to start Michael Carter in my finals. So yeah, I'm just going to start both Rams. Yeah, I'd fire up both Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Fire up Parker Washington. Yeah, that sounds good to me. So yeah, hope that helps. Hey, we got Tiffany in here. Good to see you. You say yes. So glad you guys are live. Thanks for doing the stream. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, sorry Blake couldn't be here. He is on a road trip to Florida right now. So actually, right now, I know he is passing through Kansas City. So I know he was like looking for some good barbecue. I don't know if any of you guys live in Kansas City by any chance, but I feel like a lot of us here are from the Midwest. I know we were talking about that in a recent stream. But yeah, that's where Blake is. So he's going to be gone. He's probably not going to be at least on camera in a stream for probably like the next week and a half, unless somehow he is able to do it from his vacation or whatever. But I'm assuming that's probably not going to happen. So he might occasionally pop up in the live chat and everything. And I'm sure he'll probably like, if he does, I'm sure he'll be weighing in on some of your questions and everything like that. I haven't seen him in here tonight so far, but hey, you never know. But yeah, good to see you, Tiffany. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, any start sets. Let me know if you're in any finals matchups this week. Okay, and then as the chat jumps around on me, okay, Michael Regine says, good stuff. Just subscribed. Appreciate your time. Hey, let's go. Really appreciate that. And yeah, my pleasure. Happy to help. And yeah, absolutely. Like anyone, hey, we got 12 people in here right now. If you're new, definitely subscribe. And yeah, if I answered your question, helped you out, helped you make your start sit decision, definitely drop me a like. We're already up to 10. So really appreciate all the support. You guys have been amazing lately. So I will keep answering your questions here. Next up, we have, hey, Zigsta. I feel like I haven't seen that name in a while. Good to see you. You say Stranger Loveland, half PPR. Hope you guys had a nice Christmas. Yeah, I had a great Christmas. I hope all you guys had a great Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you do or don't celebrate. So, but yeah, hope you all are having a great holiday season. Let me know how your holidays are going. And yeah, so to answer your question, Stranger Loveland and a half PPR. Let's see what Colson Loveland has been doing lately. I mean, I feel like he hasn't been setting the world on fire. I mean, I think he's been like okay. You can probably tell that I don't own any of him. So let's see here. Okay, yeah. So I mean, he has 30 or fewer receiving yards in 3 of his last 4 games, but sandwiched in there is a 63-yard game in Week 15. So he hasn't been amazing. I mean, it's a solid matchup at San Francisco. I mean, he still gives you some upside, though. I mean, we have seen it this season. Week 9 at Cincinnati. Okay, it was against the Bengals, but still. 6 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he has been coming out a little bit, but it hasn't been quite what we've wanted. I think I'm going to go Brenton Strange there. I think Jags Colts could be a high scoring game. The Jags just seem to be on fire. Trevor Lawrence is on fire. He likes throwing to the middle of the field. So I'm firing up Brenton Strange in a finals this week. It's a full PPR and a 0.75 tight end premium, but still, yeah. I mean, I would I actually started him over Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, which did not age well, but in a tight end premium that big, I do feel like it was pretty good process. But yeah, definitely feel a little regret about it, even if the process was good. But in any case, I do like Strange this week, so I would fire up Brenton Strange there. But yeah, good question. And then let's see. Vincent Ruff says all return yards. Mumfield doesn't return. Corley does. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I do think that kind of makes it close between those two. So I don't know. I mean, should that make me prefer Corley? But the problem is like Corley barely catches any passes. And last I checked, Devontae Adams is doubtful for the game. And, with that being the case last week, Mumfield had 8 targets, looked pretty decent. So I'm kind of liking Mumfield. But hey, I mean, if you like Corley for the return yards, wouldn't fully blame you there. Let's see. And next question. Okay, let's get it. Says at this point, I'd start Aubrey in most other positions besides quarterback. LOL. I mean, man, is your come on, your team isn't in that bad of shape. Although, wait, I think you had Gibbs, right? So yeah, I understand. Hey, we got AO in here. Good to see you. You say Pollard or Myers in the flex. I'm a 34% underdog. Also have T-Law at quarterback. I'm going to think about the answer to that as I open up this drink here. I got a Christmas ale, so we'll fire one of these bad boys up here as I think about your question. All right, so Tony Pollard or Jacoby Myers in the flex, and you say you're an underdog, 34% chance of winning, and you have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Okay. So yeah, you would have the stack if you went with Jacoby Myers. Man, that's tough. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a coin flip in a vacuum. I feel like I might say, I don't know, I want to say Pollard. I am starting Pollard in a finals this week. Actually, the same league where I'm starting Brenton Strange. I do kind of like Pollard, but I don't know. I mean, Jacoby Myers feels boring, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's unfair. I mean, probably one of those guys that at least has more upside than you think. I mean, he's had some spike weeks over the years, so I want to give him a little credit here. And he's a really good real life NFL receiver, pretty darn solid in fantasy, in a good situation with the Jags, even if they do kind of spread the ball out a bit. You are an underdog. Gosh, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I mean, if you're starting T Law, maybe you just lean into that and go Jacoby Myers. I mean, maybe we just sort of get like a crazy shootout and hopefully Trevor Lawrence has, 4 touchdowns. Maybe a couple of them go to Jacoby Myers. Maybe he gets like a 10 or 12 target game out of nowhere. Not saying I'm expecting that, but you never know. I mean, just like weird random things happen in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of variance week to week. And so it's not always things that we can anticipate, but I do think it's a nice matchup against the Colts. I mean, they couldn't cover anyone last week. So I do like Pollard as well, but let's see. I'm assuming this is a full PPR. I mean, Pollard doesn't catch a ton of passes. Let's go with Jacoby Myers. I mean, between it, I'm assuming being a full PPR and you're starting Trevor Lawrence and you're an underdog. Let's just lean into the stack and let's just hope Lawrence and Jacoby go nuts this week. So yeah, let's fire up Jacoby Myers there. All right, Tiffany says, AO, I like Myers. Okay, so she's weighing in on AO's question there. And yeah, she agrees with me. So there you go. Great minds think alike. Thanks for weighing in, Tiffany. And let's see. Michael Phantom says, who should I start for flex? Tracy, Marv, BTJ, or Strange? You say 1.5 tight end premium. Okay, so I always feel like there's like confusion about this with the way some people say it. So I'm assuming by 1.5 tight end premium, you mean that the tight end premium is 0.5 and you get 1.5 PPR. Let me know if that's the case. That's what I'm assuming as I answer this. And you say that's a 10-team super flex, start 9. I have Brissett, so it would be a Marv Brissett stack. Okay. I mean, I don't feel amazing about Marv this week. I mean, I love Marv in general. I mean, definitely a big fan of him as a player, as a prospect. Big fan of him in Dynasty. I do think he will eventually be a stud. I think he's had some horrible luck this year with injuries and otherwise. So in a 0.5 tight end premium, Tracy, Marv, Brian Thomas, or Strange. Okay, so you can only start one in the flex there. So it would be a stack with Brissett to Marv if you went with Marv there. I mean, I don't love Brian Thomas. I mean, Strange is fine. I wish the tight end premium was a bit more. I might go Tyrone Tracy here. I mean, the Giants ran a lot last week. Tracy's been pretty hot lately. We just haven't seen it recently from Marv. It just doesn't make me feel good in the finals. Brian Thomas doesn't feel amazing either. Did you say whether you were an underdog or not? Let me know that. Let me know if you're the favorite or the underdog. That would probably help me out a bit to have a little more context there. I mean, if you really want to swing for the upside, I could see just lean into the Brissett Marv stack and, just hope they go nuts. Hope it's a, massive shootout between Bengals and Cardinals, which it theoretically could be. So I don't hate that if you're an underdog and you just kind of need the upside, lean into the stack. But in a vacuum here, I think I'm going to recommend Tracy. I think Strange would be probably my next option given, the tight end premium there. I think Marv probably is my third option, probably close between Marv and BTJ. I don't feel amazing about either one of them there. So yeah, I would personally rank them Tracy, Strange, Marv, BTJ, but pretty close between all those guys, honestly. Although I guess maybe the tier break for me would be, I don't know, maybe after Tracy and Strange. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I think I'd fire up Tracy. Giants ran the ball a ton last week. I could see them doing that again. I don't think they want to get Jackson Dart hurt. Raiders is not a matchup that scares me. Tracy's explosive. He's looked good lately. He's been producing lately. Let's go with Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, we'll fire up Tyrone Tracy here. Good question. And let's see. Alenda Blitz says, I do see the Saints, Giants, Bengals, San Fran, and Chicago on waivers. Okay, so that's for defenses I'd asked about earlier. Okay, let's take a quick look at the matchups for those defenses. Okay, so we know the Saints are at the Titans. Giants are okay. Yeah, we just talked about they're against the Raiders, and I believe that game is in Vegas. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's a pretty good matchup. Not a terrible option there, even though yeah, Giants. I mean, Giants defense is pretty bad though, so certainly not ideal. But I do like I've said before with fantasy defense, that's like the one position where I'm going to lean into the matchup. That's where I truly care about the matchup is for a defense. But that's about the only position where I really care about matchups a lot. So I would be willing to play a bad defense if they have like an amazing matchup. And yeah, I mean that doesn't get much better than playing the Raiders, right? So, and then the Bengals play the Cardinals. So that's not amazing. I don't think. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. But I wouldn't think that'd be a good matchup. And then let's see, San Francisco plays the Bears. That doesn't sound that great. Or Chicago against the Niners. No, no way. So I think it's probably, I mean, just between those options you listed there, probably between the Saints, Giants, probably between the Saints and Giants, I would think. Gosh, so yeah, none of them feel like amazing. I'd probably, I mean, I don't know. Ashton Genty did look good last week. I mean, I guess he could kind of terrorize him a little bit. Yeah, none of those feel incredible. I would probably go with gun to my head here. I'm in the finals. What am I doing? And if this were me, I'm thinking I would probably go with Saints or Giants. So I mean, it's so gross to even be considering these defenses, but I mean, they really are probably your best options, as gross as it sounds and feels. I would go with let's go with the Giants. I mean, come on, the Raiders are awful. Kenny Pickett at quarterback. I guess we'll fire up the Giants. I can't say I feel good about it. I don't know. Saints at Tennessee. That doesn't feel amazing either. But wait, I don't know. Does Cam Ward get sacked a lot? I feel like he does. Am I making that up? What the hell? Giants just doesn't feel right. We'll fire up the Saints. We'll fire up the Saints there. I just couldn't say the Giants defense. That just sounded too gross. Good question though. Definitely challenging me on that one. Okay, AO. Okay, just responding to Tiffany there, and then Tiffany says, "Well, you're both fun, and it's a fun group." And here again, hey, appreciate the nice words. And let's get it says, or Dan, what do we think about Adonai Mitchell instead of a Jags receiver or Jags receiver number 2? All right, let's see what Adonai Mitchell has done lately. I feel like he's been like alternating, good game, bad game, good game, bad game. So let's see what he's okay, yeah. So last week was a bad game. 3 catches, 43 yards on 6 targets, no score. Yeah, he's really just alternated every week. So I guess this should be a good week, right? I mean, he's due for the good week if the pattern continues. So I don't know how much you want to, how much you want to read into that, or how much predictability is actually in that. But gosh, so over a Jags receiver, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, it's not even like it's a great matchup against the Patriots. I mean, I guess they'll probably be down and having to throw the ball, but I don't know. If you have a gut feeling, like sure, go with it. I think I'd rather just have some pieces of that Jags Colts game. That just feels and sounds a little better to me, especially since isn't the game in Indianapolis, so it's indoors. You don't have to worry about the weather. Here, let me just verify that. So make sure I'm not just like making that up here. Yeah, it's in Indy. Yeah, I think I'd go Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington if I'm not mixing you up with someone else here. But it is late, so you never know. That is always possible. And then here we have, let's see, Shinner Cards in the chat. Pretty sure that's a new name. Welcome to the channel. Say full PPR, what to do for tight end. Have Kittle, Tongs, and Juwan Johnson. Need one for flat. Okay, so we'll do one question at a time here. So for tight end, Kittle, Tongs, and Juwan Johnson. I mean, Juwan Johnson's been pretty rock solid this year. You say it's a full PPR. Juwan Johnson's been pretty good in a full PPR. Saints are playing the Titans. Pretty good matchup. Definitely not one you're scared of at all. So yeah, I guess the question is, like earlier we had someone who had Harold Fannin and also had Kittle. And so for someone as good as Fannin, Yeah, I'll just fire up Fannin and not even like mess with the Kittle situation. Excuse me. But the question is like, where do you draw that line? If you have Jawan Johnson, like, is that a good enough tight end to just say, screw Kittle and his game time decision? I'm just going to fire up this other tight end in the earlier game, so I don't have to wait till Sunday night. I mean, Tongs is definitely not a bad emergency option if you did wait until Sunday night, but I mean, the reports about Kittle's chances of playing haven't exactly been glowing. It feels like he's maybe slightly on the wrong side of questionable. Just if I'm just kind of speculating a little bit. I mean, that's really not based on too much, but it is a true game time decision. It really could go either way. Let's see how good Jawan Johnson has been this year. Okay, so full PPR league. I'm pulling up the leaders for tight ends. Looks like Jawan Johnson is the tight end 10 on the season. So, I mean, been pretty darn good. I mean, he's a tight end 1. He's been pretty consistent too. I mean, you can pretty much just like fire him up every week and you're usually pretty happy. So definitely not a bad option there. I mean, it is the finals though. You might need a little more upside than Jawan Johnson. So I think you could go either way there. If you feel, like if I told you now it's going to be Jake Tong starting for the Niners, if you would just far and away prefer starting Jawan Johnson to a Jake Tongs without Kittle, then you should probably just play Jawan Johnson. But if you don't even think there's going to be that much of a difference between Tongs, without Kittle versus Jawan Johnson, which you could argue because Tongs was pretty good when Kittle was out earlier this season. I think you could just say, hey, it's the finals. You need the max upside. Kittle's kind of a warrior. You never know with him. He could tough it out and be awesome and, have a great game. I would not be shocked. I'm not saying I expect it, but I would certainly not be shocked. Would not put anything past George Kittle. So definitely don't want to bet against them. So if you're an underdog or you just think you're against a really good team and need the upside, I think in that case I would just wait for the Niners because I don't think Jake Tongs is going to be that much worse than Jawan Johnson if Kittle is ruled out. But if Jake Tongs sounds kind of gross to you or whatever, and you knew Kittle was going to be out, if in that scenario Jake Tongs doesn't sound good to you, I would just play Jawan Johnson. But if you're putting a gun to my head, here and asking me what I would do if I were in your shoes, I think I would wait for Kittle, but man, that is so close. I mean, I can absolutely see why you're asking me because I would say Jawan Johnson, he's probably like right on that borderline there in terms of where you would draw that line for, okay, north of this line, I'm going to just start him, and south of this line, I'm going to, just wait on Kittle and have Tongs as a backup. So I think Jawan Johnson is probably right around that threshold. So really great question. I would say if you're up against a really great team and you need the upside, I would wait for Kittle. If not, maybe Jawan Johnson's a little safer. I think I'd wait for Kittle because I think Jake Tongs would be pretty solid if Kittle's ruled out. Okay. Next question here. Let's see. Okay. And then you also asked, need one for flex, Travion Henderson or Michael Carter. Oh, easily Travion Henderson. I mean, do I even have to defend that? I mean, I know Carter's been decent. He's got a great matchup. I don't care. I am not starting Michael Carter in my finals with a championship on the line, with real money on the line, if I can help it. And yeah, you have a stud like Travion Henderson. I don't care what he did last week because he got injured. He's healthy. He's cleared the concussion protocol. Yeah, let's fire up Travion Henderson. Good matchup too. He can hit a big play on any given play. So yeah, we're firing up Henderson. Do not get cute. Do not start Michael Carter over Travion Henderson. You will definitely regret that if you did. So yeah, fire up Henderson. And yeah, we already answered about the tight ends. Thanks for the questions. And then AO says Michael Carter or Pittman. I'm a 55% favorite, but against Puka. And then yeah, I don't even know how to describe that emoji, but it is not a happy face. We'll say that. Okay, Michael Carter or Pittman. Okay, yeah, none of those sound great. I mean, I was just trashing Michael Carter, so you kind of know my thoughts there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Michael Carter's a fine desperation start, but no more than that, So, I mean, Pittman hasn't done that much lately. It doesn't seem like he has too much of a connection with old man Rivers. Let's pull up Pittman's game log. Yeah, I mean, the two games with Rivers have been brutal. I mean, combined 10 targets, 7 catches, what is that? 60 receiving yards, not even 58. No touchdowns. Hasn't been good. I mean, he's had a solid season prior to that, though. So, I mean, I don't know how much we want to read into a 2 game sample size with Rivers, but it definitely makes me a little nervous there. So, man, I mean, Pittman or Michael Carter. Gosh, neither feels good to me. I mean, in Pittman's favor, he's been good on the year. Good matchup against the Jags. Really good matchup. Love the game environment. Love the potential for a shootout in that game. It's also indoors. Don't have to worry about weather or anything like that. Michael Carter, incredible matchup against the Bengals. I mean, I believe allowing the most points to running backs this season. I mean, Carter's looked decent to the eye test. Like, he's looked pretty good out there. And I've always kind of liked Michael Carter. I mean, you wouldn't know it based on how much I've been trashing him here. But he's not the kind of guy I generally want to start in the final. So that's the only reason I've been kind of trashing him. Like, I think he's a fine player. I've always kind of had a soft spot for him. So definitely don't like hate him as a player or anything like that. I like that he can catch passes. God, that's really a good one. That's really a good one. Sure, I'll fire up Michael Carter here. I mean, it's close. You could flip a coin with that one. I could see the case for Pittman. I just made it. You're a 55% favorite, but you're playing against Puka. Yeah, Puka could certainly go off. It's definitely not fun playing against Puka in the finals. I mean, I think what you got to hope for with Michael Carter is they just kind of has like a PPR scam kind of game, like, gets a bunch of targets, bunch of catches, racking up those points in a PPR league, which I'm assuming this is. Oh yeah. Wait, maybe you didn't say. Let me know if it's a PPR now. I'm assuming it's a full PPR. But either way, it is a really good I mean, they're both good matchups. So, God, I don't know. What do you do with that? That is really a tough one. I mean, neither feel great. What would I do with real money on the line? You know what? I don't know if I can do it with Michael Carter. I think because neither feels great. They both have good matchups. I could truly make a case either way. I think the tiebreaker for me is going to be the name brand, and maybe that sounds superficial, but it's not just the name brand itself. I mean, it's the talent. I mean, think about where you were drafting Michael Pittman this year. I mean, not that it was like crazy high. Of course, he was coming off a bad year, but he paid off. I mean, he was a good deal in drafts this year, and had a really good, really solid season for most of it until like Rivers came in here. I mean, Michael Carter wasn't even being drafted in 99 or 100% of leagues basically. So yeah, unless you get extra points for your name being Michael Carter, basically. So let's break the tie with the name brand with the guy that you drafted higher. Let's go with Michael Pittman here. I mean, you're going to feel dumb if Pittman's been good all year. Pittman got you here. Michael Carter hasn't been anything special in terms of like what he's been producing fantasy points wise. Well, let's fire up Pittman. Let's hope he's due for a good game. Let's hope, Pittman and Rivers are, running routes and working on their connection right now. And hopefully they're due for a good game here. Good question, though. And we got Fighting Solves Everything in here. Good to see you. And you ask, I need 2 flex, Henderson, Tet McMillan, Michael Wilson, or Zach Charbonnet. Okay, I mean, my first thought is you got to fire up Henderson. We've been talking about him. Definitely like Henderson this week. I mean, yeah, none of those are bad options, though. I mean, Michael Wilson's been really hot. I know he didn't do a lot last week. Brissett kind of had his first off game. Let's see how Tet's been doing lately. I believe Tet's coming off a pretty good game here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull up his game log here. So Tet McMillan, 10 targets, 6 catches, 73 yards, touchdown last week. That was good to see him producing. He'd been a little quiet before that, but man, like we know the talent's there. I mean, it feels like he could explode at any time. Man, I mean, Michael Wilson's been awesome, save for last week, but I think he still bailed himself out with a touchdown. And then Zach Charbonnet, like, I mean, he hasn't been terrible either. He finds the end zone. It seems like he gets those goal line carries. So not a terrible start either. Yeah, he had like 17 points last week. So, yeah, I mean, I think you probably ordered them in that order for a reason. I mean, I think that's possibly how I'd rank them, but let me just, excuse me. Let me just take a quick look at the matchups. Okay. So yeah, Tet doesn't have a great matchup home against the Seahawks, but hey, we saw what Puka did against them last week, right? So that's why I say, like, don't worry about matchups too much. Um, and then yeah, we know Henderson has a great matchup against the Jets. Michael Wilson plays the Bengals. I mean, you would think that'd be a good matchup. I mean, according to Sleeper, it's not. You know, I would. You'd think the Bengals would be bad against receivers. Apparently, that's not so. Maybe it's just because tight ends do everything against them. And then Charbonnet plays the Panthers, which is a pretty good matchup for running backs. God, that is such a tough one. I mean, maybe like Marv gets ramped up a little bit more this week. I mean, he was like his first week back from injury last week. I'm just fixing my hat because it looked kind of weird. Um, I'm trying. I'm an idiot. I'm trying to like use this as like a mirror. Forgive me. Forgive me. It's late. Anyways, yeah, Zach Charbonnet, good matchup against the Panthers. I do like that. Oh, I was talking about Marv against the Bengals. I do feel like Marv potentially gets ramped up a little bit, maybe play some more snaps this week. So that could hurt Michael Wilson a little bit. I mean, I don't want to overthink it too much. I mean, Wilson has been a stud lately. I definitely don't want to overthink that. I definitely think Michael Wilson's a solid start this week. Yeah, I hate to bench Tet. Man, these are really tough. I mean, you guys are really bringing the tough questions. I mean, I can see why you're struggling with these. So, yeah, what would I do in a real league? I feel like, gosh, I think I'm going to go Henderson and Tet. I mean, it's really close there. I think you could make a case for any of those four. If you have a gut feeling, like feel free to go with that. If you have it a certain way right now, maybe just leave it the way it is. I think I'd go Henderson and Tet. They just feel like probably the two most talented players there. Um, yeah, I mean, neither of their matchups scare me too much. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Henderson and Tet. I just kind of want to go down with my two most talented players, and I think those are them. So, yeah, we'll fire up Henderson and Tet there. But, man, that is a really tough one. I think those are all pretty good starts. All right, next question. And, yeah, we still got 10 people in here, 10 likes. Great to have everyone here. Definitely drop me a like if I answered your question. And, yeah, subscribe if you're new. Like, we're trying to get to 200 subscribers. So, yeah, appreciate everyone's support here. I will answer everyone's question before I sign off here. All right. And the chat jumped around on me. So let's find where I left off. Man, I mean, I can't believe how many comments we got in here. I mean, it's so awesome to see all you guys in here. Absolutely loving it. Let's see. Okay, next question. AO says, I'm starting Taysom Hill in both finals. Tell me your true thoughts on him. I could start someone like Waller or Colston instead. Okay. Yeah, Taysom, I mean, you're going to get like 0 points or 30. I mean, that's what it's going to be this week. I mean, his usage last week could have just been about it being his final home game in New Orleans. So I don't know what to expect. He's either going to be like the main running back for the Saints or he's going to get like 2 touches and 0 points. So I don't know which is going to happen. I would rather not start him if I have a more reliable option. Let's see. In your case, it would be like Waller or Colston Loveland. Okay. I mean, it is the finals. We do need some upside. I mean, it's not like I love Loveland this week. I mean, I think he's fine. Doesn't feel amazing. Waller, I do kind of like in a similar kind of Taysom Hill kind of way. So I think you could argue it's pretty close there. He's got a great match against the Bucs. I mean, they've been terrible against tight ends all year. So, I mean, strangely enough, I feel like Waller maybe has a little bit of a higher floor. Just because with like Taysom, I mean, it could like legitimately be a 0. I guess it could be for Waller too, but I at least feel like as long as Waller doesn't injure himself, he can at least have a few targets and probably like a red zone target, probably at least a chance to score a touchdown. I do really like that matchup. So, if you're the favorite in your matchup, maybe you lean Waller. If you're like need a miracle and you're a huge underdog, well, let's fire up Taysom Hill. That's where I'm at with that. Good question. And let's see. Tiffany says to Fighting Solves Everything. Love some Tet or Michael Wilson. Okay. So, yeah, I think you had to start 2 of those players. So it sounds like your 2 favorite are Tet and Michael Wilson. So, yeah, definitely don't hate that. I mean, especially in full PPR. I mean, those guys should definitely get some targets and some catches. So, definitely don't hate that call there. So yeah, thanks for weighing in on that, Tiffany. And then let's see, Justin. Why do I always have trouble saying this? Justin Refuse uh, says, "Who to flex, Mike Evans or Juwan Jennings?" Well, hey, I was texting with Blake earlier about Juwan Jennings, and Blake's exact words were, "Jennings is an auto start this week." So, hey, I don't think I can put it any better than that. I tend to agree with him. I mean, Purdy's hot. Jennings has just been rock solid all year. We don't even know if Pearsall is going to play. Last I saw, he's questionable, and Kittle's questionable. I mean, Jennings could get a lot of targets. So, oh man, but I mean, over Mike Evans, good lord, that is so tough. Man, I don't know if Blake would say to auto start Jennings over Mike Evans. I mean, that is a really tough one. I mean, Mike Evans is the dude. I mean, such a good receiver in real life. Great for fantasy, so consistent. I mean, he's been great in the fantasy playoffs over the years too. I mean, he's definitely been a league winner at times. Yeah, the Bucks play the Dolphins. It's at Miami. Man, that's tough. Let's go Mike Evans here. I'm gonna break the tie with the name brand, and just the history, the consistency of Mike Evans. Wouldn't fault you for going either way there, especially with the possibility that Kittle's out, the possibility that Pearsall's out. Maybe Juwan Jennings just gets like fed with targets, but I mean it's Mike Evans. Let's start Mike Evans. It's the finals. I want to go down with Mike Evans there, but a good question though. All right. And then let's see. Michael Phantom says that is the case. Um, okay. What question were you answered again? It's tough keeping track. I mean, hey, I got so many of you guys in here. Like, this is absolutely amazing. Great problem to have. Never even thought I would have this problem. I mean, we got 13 in here right now, 12 likes. You guys are unbelievable. So I'm just trying to figure out what question you were answering there when you say that is the case. Let me see if I can find your last question here. Michael Phantom. Okay, you said, okay, you were asking about starting for flex, Tracy Marr, BTJ, or Strange. Oh, yeah, no, zero point 0.5 PPR. Okay, yeah, I think I was asking about, is it actually a zero point 0.5 tight end premium or 1.5 PPR for tight end? So, okay, so you say that is the case. Good to know. Thank you for clarifying that. So, yeah, that's what I was assuming. So I stand by my earlier thoughts and recommendations on that. I would start Tracy. And let's see. And then you also say, I'm up 32.5 right now. Hey, that's awesome. So hopefully the projection, are you also projected to win by like 30 or, is the projection a little closer, I'm assuming? Um, Sometimes that's the more relevant number to keep track of. But hey, either way, nice to be up by 32 points. So that is good to see. Hope you're able to pull off the win there. And Fighting Solves Everything says, talk to you later. Yeah, absolutely. We will see you in the next stream. And then let's see, Alenda Blitz says, your thoughts on Cam Little as kicker this week? Thanks. Yeah, I can't say I'm like the expert on kickers, but I believe like Cam Little has been pretty darn good this year. I mean, is he the kicker one? I feel like I heard someone say that. Is that correct? I could pull up my ESPN home league here. That's like the one league I play in with kickers. So let's see how good Cam Little's been. But yeah, I mean, if he's the number one kicker on the year, I mean, I'd feel pretty good about firing him up, especially in a high scoring game like Jags Colts. So I would think it'd be a pretty damn good start this week. All right, let's pull up Cam Little's playing card here. Cam Little. Okay. Well, at least on my scoring, which is a little unique, my home league, he is ranked as the kicker 8 on the season. Yeah, looks like he's been pretty damn good. I mean, yeah, he's definitely putting up some points. So yeah, I would say Cam Little's a good start this week. Absolutely, would not be afraid to fire him up at all. And then AO says, "You're the man for giving us a live stream right now." Hey, appreciate it. My pleasure. Love these streams. Love talking fantasy with you guys. Love helping you out with your start sets. So yeah, keep the questions coming here. I will definitely answer all of them. So yeah, good to have you guys here. And then let's see, we have Shinner's Cards says, sweet, thanks for the answers to my question. I'm up against a great team and think I need the upside of Kittle if he goes. I guess more of what the difference is between Tongs and Juwan Johnson. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like a huge difference, I mean, yeah, if Kittle's out, yeah, I would rather have I would still rather have Juwan Johnson than Jake Tongs, but I mean, Tongs was really solid earlier in the season, so I don't think it's like a massive downgrade or anything. I mean, I'd say it's like maybe a slight downgrade, and I mean, who knows? On any given week, like, I mean, Tongs could certainly outscore Kittle. I mean, it's certainly in the range of outcomes. So yeah, let's just gamble on the upside of Kittle, and hey, we'll settle for Tongs if it comes to that. You know, I don't think you're at a massive disadvantage there versus Juwan Johnson personally. Um, all right, and okay, next question. AO says it's half PPR. Okay, so that's referring to, let's see, what question was that referring to? Oh, the Taysom Hill versus Waller and Colston Loveland. Okay, so in a half PPR, I mean, I feel like that leans even more toward Taysom Hill because he can score some of his points throwing the ball and rushing the ball, scoring touchdowns. So he's not really reliant on catching a lot of passes. I mean, he can catch passes. He caught some last week, and that certainly was really helpful. But he's not like relying on that. So I feel like a half PPR, yeah, I'm gonna fire. I'm probably fire up Taysom Hill in a half PPR. But just know it's not for the faint of heart. Like don't be too mad if you get a goose egg. I mean, like anything's possible. But I mean, any of those guys could score really low. I mean, if you truly need a high floor, start Colston Loveland. I mean, if a floor of like 5, 6, 7 points matters, like start Colston Loveland. I don't think, but it probably is not going to matter. Like you need to swing for the 20 to 30 points that Taysom Hill could give you. So it's the finals. Like you're not going to win with a mediocre week. So, I think in a case like that where they're all kind of desperation options, like we'll swing for the upside, especially in a half PPR. I think Taysom Hill makes a lot of sense there. Though he is risky. So just be warned. But hey, the upside's there. So we're going to hope for the best. All right. And then Tiffany says, all I know is Saquon needs to go last season, Saquon this week. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my God, yeah, last season was so amazing for Saquon, 2,000 yards and everything. I really think the only main difference this year is just like the Eagles' run blocking. Offensive line play hasn't been as good, and who the heck anticipated that? So, I mean, I still think Saquon has like looked good out there. I don't think he's really like lost a step or anything. So, but he has been heating up lately. I am starting him in 2 of my 4 finals matchups this week. So I'm hoping for a big game. I mean, I love the matchup against the Bills. So, yeah, I could totally see him going 2024 Saquon this week. So, yeah, fingers crossed that he does that. I'll certainly be rooting for it myself. And then Chinner's card says, prediction shows I am 30% to win. However, I do have Puka, Chase Brown, Henderson, and Hurts against CMC, A-Chain, ETN, and JSN. Man, I mean, it sounds like both sides are loaded there. Okay, but yeah, you are the underdog, so 30% chance to win. So let's see. That was okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's hope Kittle plays then and settle for Tongs if he doesn't. We need some upside there. Yeah, because that's a pretty stacked team on the other side there. Even though your team looks really good as well. So, but yeah, we'll swing for the upside. It's the finals. And then, yeah, Tiffany's comments to you. Dang, that sounds better than 30%. Good for you. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your team's really good too. I mean, you'd think the projection would be a little closer. I mean, what you have Puka, Chase Brown, Henderson, Hurts. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too desperate with it. I mean, I want to say like that sounds more like a closer to 50-50 than it does to a 30-70. So, but still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't put too much in projections, but I mean, there's probably some reason why it thinks you're only 30% chance to win. So I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing there, but still, it's generally good to assume that you probably need some kind of level of upside in the finals here. I mean, you're up against, presumably one of the best teams in the league with probably a pretty stacked roster. Certainly in this case, we know it's a stacked roster. So yeah, we're going to swing for the upside there. No doubt about that. All right. And then Tiffany also says to you, you're in really good shape. This is when things definitely get interesting and anything can happen. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and yeah, the best team doesn't always win. So, I mean, we have to keep that in mind. So, all we can really control right now is just set our best lineup. So, I mean, hence why we're talking start sits right now. So, and then let's see, we have Hexaloo in the chat. That definitely looks like a new name. So, hey, welcome to the channel. Hope you're subbed. And you say super torn between Purdy and JT. Situation and matchup favors. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread. Bucky Irvin and JT. Situation and matchup favors Bucky, but it's JT. Yeah, I mean, JT's been unbelievable this year. Of course, he has cooled down quite a bit lately. I mean, he's still giving you usable weeks the past couple of weeks with Rivers, but I mean, man, it's not quite like it was earlier in the season. But I mean, who knows? Could that come back at any time? I don't think it's impossible. I mean, Rivers has been okay, probably better than I expected. So yeah, I mean, it's not a good matchup against the Jags, but you guys know I don't really care about that too much. And then Bucky Irving. Okay, they play the Dolphins. So yeah, that is a very good matchup for running backs. I can certainly see why you would be tempted with a Bucky Irving. But I mean, let's look what Bucky Irving has done lately. I do not currently own any Bucky Irving. So let me acclimate myself here with what he's been doing lately exactly. And I think he's been solid. Let's take a look at his recent stat lines here. Pulling up his game log on Sleeper in a full PPR league. Okay, maybe he hasn't been so solid, at least not the past couple of weeks. It's been pretty rough. 8.1, 7.1 the past couple of weeks. Did have a pair of 16-point games before that. So, yeah, it hasn't been great. Yeah, we're firing up JT. We're not going to mess around. You start your best players, start your studs. I don't care if 44-year-old Philip Rivers is a quarterback. I don't care if, Sleeper says the matchup is bad or whatever against the Jags. Fire up Jonathan Taylor. I mean, how many 3-touchdown games has Jonathan Taylor had this season? I mean, there's been a lot. It's been insane. If he has another 3-touchdown game and you bench him, that is not going to feel good. So, yeah, let's fire up Jonathan Taylor here. We are not going to get cute in the finals. And then Fighting Solves Everything says, let's see if we think alike. Setup, Burrow/Lawrence, CMC, JT, Travion Henderson, Michael Carter, Charbonnet, Tajay Spears. Is that Brian Robinson or Bijan Robinson? You listed him last, so I'm assuming that's Brian Robinson. Let me know if that's Bijan. And then Puka, T. Higgins, Michael Wilson, Jake Tongs, Tyler Warren, Jake Bates, Patriots defense, 2-2-2, running back, receiver, tight end, flex. Okay, so I'm assuming based on how you wrote this that you need 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Let's see. Wait. Oh, I'm a little confused about what exactly you're asking with the 2-2-2. Clarify that for me. Do you need like 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex? Or is the 2 tight end? I'm a little confused, but here, I'll answer this the best I can here. For how I would set this lineup, I'll assume it's 2 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex. Okay, so the 2 running backs. Well, I mean, you probably want to answer your quarterback question too, right? I mean, between Burrow and Lawrence, I mean, that's a pretty tough choice. Burrow is playing the Cardinals, right? Okay. God, that's a tough one. Oh, man, can you bench Burrow? Oh, man, that is so tough. I mean, I really think Trevor Lawrence could do a lot this week in that shootout with the Colts. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'll think about that. But running back, you're playing CMC. You're playing, between JT and Henderson. Man, this is a loaded team. I'll say JT for the moment. That's really close between him and Henderson. I could see going either way there. Your receivers, you're obviously starting Puka. Then between T. Higgins, Michael Wilson. Man, you could really make a case for any of those there. I'll go T. Higgins there. I mean, he's just always a stud in the fantasy playoffs. And if you're going T. Higgins, let's stack him to Burrow. So we'll go Burrow, T. Higgins, Puka, CMC. I'm still debating between JT and Henderson. All right, we'll go Henderson there. Last time I said to bench Henderson, it didn't go so well against the Bills because you guys had a lot of other elite options at the time. So, all right, that's the point that I'll play Henderson over JT. Is if you have a running back as good as Henderson, I'll fire up Henderson over JT. But man, that is such a tough one. And then your tight end situation: Tongs, Tyler Warren. Okay, so you just got those 2. You got to play Tyler Warren then, because you're not going to assume Kittle's out in that late game. And then, you got the Jake Bates and Patriots. Those both sound good. So, that's how I would set your lineup. So let me know if I assumed correctly or read your comment correctly with the format and everything. But, that's how I would set it up, assuming it's 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 oh, wait, do you need a second flex then? Okay, if you need a second flex, I would go with let's go with JT then, because I was debating that so hard. So, yeah, let's flex JT. But, yeah, let me know if I misunderstood anything there. All right, let's see where we left off here. Hey, we're up to 13 likes. Appreciate it, guys. Drop a like if I answered your question. Loving the support in here. You guys are amazing. And yeah, the chat's jumping around at me. Okay, let's see where we left off here. Yeah, I got a lot of people in here. Great to having you all. Great having all of you guys in here. Hope you all had a great holidays. Where the heck did we leave off here? I hate how this jumps around on me. Okay, we just answered. Okay, wait, I'm getting close here. Okay, yeah, we just answered fighting solves everything. Oh, and then you add I'm projected to win by 40 due to competition playing Gibbs, JMO, and Lions defense. Hey, well, I'm glad the Lions absolutely stinking up the joint was at least good for your matchup. So, hey, it was not without purpose. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so yeah, so you're leaning, so you can probably afford to go a little more toward the safer choices. I don't think I would change any of my recommendations, though. Yeah, I would stick with those, with what I said just a moment ago. And then let's see. Chinner's card says to Tiffany, I sure hope tomorrow is going to be stressful, LOL. And then Hexaloo says, I think Myers is the one right now. Yeah, I could see that. I think you could argue that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Parker Washington would have something to say about that based off the game, performance you just had last week, and of course, I'm sure Brian Thomas would have something to say about it, whether he deserves to or not. But yeah, I think I would agree with you generally. Um, and then Tiffany says to Chinner's cards, yeah, but with your people, that will be a fun sweat. And Hexaloo says also debating Burrow versus T Law. Projection is exactly 50-50 right now and playing against Jamar and Chase Brown this week, if that's relevant. That definitely is relevant. I mean, I think if it's close between those two, which it definitely is for me, it sounds like it is for the projection as well. I think I am going to go with yeah, I'll lean away from the Bengals then, because I'd rather just like divorce my points from the points of my competition if I can. Like if all other things being equal, if I have a really good alternative there that I can start instead, and I can just not have our points tied together like that. Yeah, I will start Trevor Lawrence 100% in that situation, and I'm just going to make a bet that the Bengals have an awful day because you know that could correlate. If Burrow has a bad day, if the Bengals just have a bad day, then all of Burrow, Jamar Chase and Chase Brown, it's at least possible that all those guys could have a bad day. In which case, you made the right decision benching Burrow, and you're going to have a good outcome in your matchup because in that scenario, Jamar Chase and Chase Brown didn't do too much. So, not saying that's likely, but I mean that's probably your best chance to win. So yeah, I would 100% play Trevor Lawrence in that scenario. Really good question there. I think that's really important strategy in the finals. I mean, you don't want to get overthink it too much and get too cute with it, but if it's neck and neck between two quarterbacks like that, I'm definitely going to let that break the tie 100%. Fighting Solves Everything says, hey, I'm leaning towards Burrow if it helps. Okay, yeah, thanks for weighing in. And then let's see, we got Joe Blacko 5 in the chat. That looks like a new name. Welcome to the channel. You say picking up Malik Willis in all my dynasty leagues. Oh, I love it. I mean, dude, he looked awesome today, didn't he? I mean, he's definitely been trending up. I mean, he's looked good when he's had to go in there. Passes look pretty accurate. He's running around. He's fast. He scores 2 rushing touchdowns. He's elusive. I mean, he looks like really nice fantasy quarterback. I mean, Blake and I were texting about him, and Blake basically called him he was like, it's like Justin Fields. If Justin Fields was like an accurate passer, basically, if Justin Fields could throw the ball. So yeah, I mean, that definitely works for fantasy. So I only have 1 share of him in my 12 dynasty leagues. Just acquired him a few weeks ago, actually. Just got him kind of thrown into a deal. So that definitely feels great. Definitely thrilled to have at least 1 share. I wish I had more, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. Anywhere he's on waivers, yeah, I'm picking him up immediately. All right, and then Let's see. Hexaloo says, I think I'm leaning T Law playing for the 1 seed. Makes me want to believe he's going to play harder than Burrow playing for nothing. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good call. I mean, that's a really good thing to at least keep in mind this time of year. What teams have something to play for versus not play for. All other things being equal, I'm gonna prefer to start the player on an NFL team that whose NFL team has something to play for. Absolutely, I think that is something good to keep in mind this time of year. And then Hexel, you also say JT is a good shout. You're right. I'm not going to overthink it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, learn from my mistakes. I mean, I so often over the years I've chased the matchups or chased the wrong thing, and then just bench the better player that got me there, and that just typically does not work out too well. So yeah, just start Jonathan Taylor. Sleep well, knowing it's a good process. It's going to work out more often than it's not. And regardless of the outcome, you can feel good that you made the best decision that you could. So yeah, glad you're seeing the light with that, or agreeing with it, or however you want to put it there. And then let's see, we have Quincy Davis in the chat. I think that's a new name. Welcome to the channel. Good to see so many new names here. You have Swift or Henderson. That's interesting. I mean, let's take a look at what Swift has been doing lately. I don't own any of him, so forgive me if I want to just kind of familiarize myself here with his recent performances, at least fantasy-wise. Okay, so he's been kind of a bit up and down lately, kind of Adonai Mitchell-esque, bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game. So I guess he's due for a good game here based on that pattern. It is a pretty good matchup at San Francisco. I mean, the Bears are definitely running the ball a lot. So Swift or Henderson, man, that is a tough one. I'm going to go Henderson just on a gut call, just his upside. Maybe I'd like a little more for Swift if he was at home, but I don't know. At San Francisco doesn't sound amazing to me. I mean, I think he's a good start. Don't get me wrong. Possibly due for a good game here. Been really rock solid on the season. Probably better than most people expected him. Better than I expected him, honestly. So I think you can make the case either way there. Definitely a good question, but I am going to lean toward Henderson there personally. Just his upside. I don't want to bench him when he goes off for 30 plus points. It's a good matchup too. So yeah, let's fire up Travion Henderson there. Fighting Solves Everything says I got 2 flex, but you only gave 1. Okay. But I'm assuming you wrote that though, because then I eventually gave you the second flex, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check on that. Fighting Solves Everything. Yeah. So I would flex the running back. So I would play all of CMC, JT, and Travion Henderson. So yeah, flex one of those 3 running backs. That's what I would do. All right, and then hey, we got Jacob in here saying 6'7". I mean, hey, not surprised. I mean, I'm forgetting Jacob's. I'm not sure what Jacob's exact age is, but definitely not surprised hearing a 6'7" coming from Jacob. I teach, so I hear it a lot at school. Actually, I just had my nieces were just over for Christmas, and they're pretty young. Like one's 11, the other is 6, and yeah, they're saying 6'7", and yeah, I can't get away from it. So yeah, thanks for adding to the conversation. Thank you for adding for. Can't talk right now. It's getting too late. I probably got to sign off soon, but thank you for adding to the conversation, Jacob. I cannot talk at all right now. We'll go to the next question here. Quincy Davis says, what's a better stack, CMC and Purdy or Trevor and Jacoby Myers and Strange? My opponent has Kittles and Tongs. If I play Purdy, I would get points from his players with Purdy. Okay. Well, let me know if you're a favorite in the matchup or an underdog, and by how much. That'd probably be good context to know for this question here. But in terms of what the better stack is, okay, CMC and Purdy or Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, and Strange. Well, I guess I'm confused because it's 2 players versus 3 players. So, who would what would be the third player you would start if you went with CMC and Purdy? But wait, you say your opponent has Purdy? Wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh, you say if I play Purdy, I would get points from his players. I'm kind of confused. Maybe either this is written poorly or I'm just not following this. Here, let me read this again here. What's a better stack? CMC and Purdy or Trevor, Jacoby Myers and Strange? My opponent has Kittles and Tongs. Okay, yeah. Sorry. It's getting late here. I'm doing my best. So your opponent has Kittles and Tongs, so he's starting one of those tight ends. Okay, so you need to start a quarterback. So do you start Purdy, which you would have stacked with CMC, but then Purdy's points are also tied to Kittles or Tongs that your opponent has. Um, or you could start Trevor Lawrence, and I'm assuming you'd also be starting Jacoby Myers and Brenton Strange. Okay, so you either get the double stack with the Jags going against the Colts, which sounds pretty good, or you get the stack of Purdy to CMC. I mean, I would say Purdy to CMC sounds like the better stack. I mean, they hooked up for 2 touchdowns last week. Lost a league because of that. Barely hung on in a couple other leagues because of that, where I should have won easily. So yeah, I do think that's the better stack in a vacuum. But with this situation, what would I do? Gosh, that is pretty tough. I mean, I guess if you went with the Trevor Lawrence stack, double stack with Myers and Strange, you get like kind of like the double stack, the double correlation there, which is kind of nice. If you're starting Myers and Strange anyways, okay, well, they do well. Like Trevor Lawrence is probably going to do well, so you correlate that bet, and then with CMC, obviously you're still starting him, but you could at least hope that he has most of his fantasy points on the ground, or at least the touchdowns on the ground, so that Purdy doesn't get the. Oh no! Wait! You're starting Purdy. Okay, sorry. This is way too confusing for this late an hour. Doing my best here. But yeah, I guess the question ultimately comes down to: would I bench Purdy in favor of Trevor Lawrence because your opponent has Kittles? Either way, you would get some level of stack there. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, they are pretty close, so I guess that could break the tie. I mean, the one situation I would hate is like if you go into the Sunday night game and let's say you're starting Purdy and CMC, your opponent has Kittle. I guess even if you were down, you would still have a chance to like come back there. I'd probably just start who you think is the better player here. I don't think, I don't think there's quite enough here for you to like make the decision based on it. I mean, if you wanted to squint and really try to break the tie, I guess you could go Trevor Lawrence just to completely divorce your points from your opponent's points, which in a perfect world I would prefer. But I think ultimately I just want to start the best player in this specific situation. So Purdy versus Trevor Lawrence, I mean, that is really close. I do think you could argue either way. Man, that is so tough. That is so tough. Man, that really is. You guys are really challenging me here. That is such a good one. I mean, Purdy versus Lawrence, and then plus you got all these stacks mixed in with it. Let's fire up Trevor Lawrence then, because if Myers and Strange are having a good day, like Trevor Lawrence has to, and then I'm just gonna hope, Kittle and Tongs do nothing, and CMC has a big game on the ground, and at least scores his touchdown on the ground. So let's go with that. That's an interesting one though. Sorry, I struggled through that a little bit. It is definitely getting late here. My brain starts to shut down. So I'll try to wrap this up pretty soon here, but I am going to answer everyone's questions. So I might go a little faster here. Fighting Solves Everything says Goff had a lot to play for, but that didn't seem to motivate him at all. Man, I don't even want to get on the Lions right now. Maybe another day, but it was brutal. I mean, the Lions looked like the worst team in the NFL from what I saw in that game. So I am not going to be defending the Lions today at all. Like they deserve any criticism you want to throw their way based on that game. Jacob says Bucky has had 0 goal line carries since coming back. JT over Bucky easy. I'm debating benching Bucky for Gainwell this week. Hey, appreciate you weighing in, Jacob, on that. I agree with you. And yeah, I would absolutely bench Bucky Irving for Kenneth Gainwell. I'd prefer Kenneth Gainwell this week. So do not blame me for that whatsoever. Hexaloo says the Lions O-line looks horrible right now. I don't think Goff is 100% to blame. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I didn't even get to see most of the game, which is probably a blessing. I saw bits and pieces. I mean, my family was over for Christmas, like right at the time that the game was going on. We did have a chance to like turn it on like halfway through the fourth quarter. So basically watched like the last 7-8 minutes of the game. It did not look too good there. So yeah, but from what everyone was saying that Goff had like no time to pass, and yeah, I definitely don't based on that, he's definitely not fully to blame. Let's see, we got Chris Longo in here. Welcome. You say, I hope Lawrence has a crap game. Kittle might not even go. Is it possible anyone can come back if their opponent had Henry tonight in a season long? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see crazy comebacks all the time. I mean, in fact, I mean, last week with that crazy 49ers Colts game, I mean, I had at least like two matchups that I basically thought were decided that, I was going to win easily. And I hung on in one of them, but I lost the other. So you just never know. I mean, there have been so many points being scored these past couple weeks. And it continues into this week now, like third straight week. I mean, you're not winning these playoff matchups without scoring some elite fantasy points on your team. I mean, you got to really put together a monster week if you want to win. I mean, that's at least been the trend so far, and I mean, that's usually the case. Obviously, I mean, you're typically playing the best teams in the playoffs here, and now we're in the finals, so you're probably playing one of the very best teams in your league. So, but yeah, it is possible. I mean, one player. I mean, if you played against Henry, yeah, like he went insane, but like one player on your team could outscore him, and then boom, you're right back in it. Obviously, you don't, on any given week, you don't expect a player to go off for 45 points or whatever the heck it was, 40 plus points. But I mean, we see that though. I mean, McBride could do it. Josh Allen. I mean, there are, Puka. I mean, there are a million players that can put up a week like that. So not to mention I mean, sometimes you have a massive week where like no one player even had a monster week, but everyone's just like really good and it adds up. So yeah, you could absolutely come back from Derrick Henry. Like, do not give up. I mean, you absolutely want to set your best lineup. Like anything can happen. Hexaloo says, I'm taking off. Thanks for the advice. Appreciate it. Yeah, my pleasure. Good to have you in here. And then Chris Longo says, okay, LOL. I need a major comeback. Thank you. I'm new here. Hey, well, good to have you here. Hope you're subbed. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Going to be on here just a little bit longer. Vincent Ruff says, Mac Hollins was a highly recommended waiver wire ad this week. With him out, how do you feel? How do you feel about Kyle Williams? I mean, as a desperation start, sure, like he's interesting, but man, like I'm gonna do everything I can to avoid starting Kyle Williams in my finals. I do, I mean, fun prospect, has shown some flashes. Hopefully, he has a bright future. Hopefully, he has a breakout game, but I'm not going to count on that. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, Matt Collins is out, yes. Keishawn Butte is out, yes. But I don't want to start Kyle Williams in the finals. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. So, yeah, I just don't want a player I'm starting in the finals to be like that speculative, where I'm just like projecting something that I haven't seen yet. So, no. I mean, if you're really, really desperate, like, sure, he qualifies as like a fun desperation start. But, like, no, I'm going to do everything I can to avoid starting Kyle Williams in the finals. But he's interesting, though. Nice player to have in Dynasty. Hopefully he turns into something. So we'll see, but don't start him this week if you can help it. Tiffany says to Chris Longo, like from, are those your names? I don't even know how to say those. Laggy and Greg/Ben. I'm sorry, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. Are you saying that you guys like the stream? If so, thank you. If you meant something completely else, please clarify. My apologies. But thank you for liking the stream. If you did, appreciate everyone's support. I mean, we're up to 16 likes. Like, I didn't expect anything close to that. So you guys are amazing as always. And yeah, we still got 7 people watching in here. I mean, it's almost 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So hey, I mean, I love you guys are clearly passionate. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could be on the West Coast and maybe it's only like midnight or whatever. But I'm sure a lot of you guys are on time zones where it's pretty late. So love to see the passion, staying up late, optimizing those lineups to win some fantasy championships. So I love to see it. Let's see. And then Chris Longo says, I got Baker, CMC, Cook, Olave, Higgins, and Pat's kicker left. I'm 15 to nothing right now. Okay, so I'm assuming it means you're up 15 to nothing. Okay. Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. I mean, yeah, those are all really good players. So yeah, sounds like a good lineup to me. And then you say to Tiffany, "Yep, LOL. I'm up late. Figured I would check this out. Hey, well, I'm glad you came out. Awesome having you in here." And you say, "I try to get all the advantages I can in DFS." Okay, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I don't really play any DFS, but might be definitely be something fun for me to do more of at some point, though. Um, yeah, and then Tiffany says, "These guys are great. I appreciate that, Tiffany." And Chris Longo says, "No, LOL. They're people from what does that say? Stochastic, Pittsburgh. I don't know. Over my head. Let's see. Tiffany says, I'm already running the Sims for tomorrow. Chris Longo says, no, oh, you're 15-0 record. Holy cow. Unbelievable. Hey, congratulations on that. I mean, that alone is accomplishment. That is not easy to do. I don't think I've ever done that. I've been playing fantasy football for like more than 25 years. So that is crazy. Congratulations. I mean, I hope you're able to keep it up here and finish undefeated, finish with the championship. Um, let's see. Where you say no, 15-0 record. My opponent had Henry did it. Oh, good lord. But hey, like I was saying, anything's possible. Oh, okay. That's a DFS site, the Stochastic. Yeah, not familiar. Yeah, you can tell I don't really play any DFS, but I mean, I do hear talked a lot about on YouTube. I definitely consume a lot of fantasy football content myself, so I'm definitely not unfamiliar with DFS. I just don't personally play any of it. I'm in 12 dynasty leagues and one redraft league, and also help a few friends, like kind of informally co-manage their redraft leagues as well. So yeah, that's where most of my focus is. Let's see. Yeah. So, hey, we still got 8 people in here. If you have any last second star sick question, drop it in the chat. Now would be the time to do it. I am probably going to head off to bed here soon, but yeah, appreciate having everyone in here. Great stream. 16 likes is amazing. I mean, I only asked for 8 for the like goal. You guys hit it with flying colors here. You doubled the like goal. So that is incredible. Like, really appreciate all the support. Really means a lot to me. Great having all you guys in here. The regulars that we've been seeing for a while. Like I love seeing these names in the chat every week, and then also love seeing so many new names. I love that more and more people are discovering the channel. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely join our free Discord. As soon as the live stream ends, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So check that out. Like we're building same community over there that we have here in our live streams. Like that's basically the idea, is that anytime that we're not live streaming, all these like same people, we can all like get together in the Discord 24/7, and you can it's a great place to ask start sick questions there if you didn't get it answered here. You can ask trade questions, and just some other like fun stuff over there. You can post like the worst trade offer that you've received recently. There's a text channel for that, so definitely check it out. Yeah, again, I will put the link in the description right as the live stream ends. But yeah, any last questions, drop them in here. Want to make sure I am answering everyone's question here. Want to help you guys win some money, win some championships. And yeah, this is it. I mean, it's crazy that this is the finals. We're here. It's the Sunday of week 17. So like, this is what we play for here. We want to take home some trophies, win some rings. I don't know if you guys actually, some leagues actually do that. I actually do have a Dynasty championship ring. So yeah, I should have brought it home here. I'm at my parents' house, like 4 hours away. Came home for the holidays, but in any case, let's see. Do we have any other questions here? Let's see. Oh, hey, we got Grotha Life. I'm probably saying that wrong. What's up? Hey, what's up? Doing well. Just answering some start sits here. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, you say got a quick question. Deep flex play, Cooper Kupp or Kyle Williams. Okay. So hey, I appreciate the deep questions. We were just talking about Kyle Williams. Like, I mean, definitely a fun prospect. I like what I've seen, in little bits here and there when he's played, and he's made some big plays, some good catches. He's looked pretty good. Yeah, he's definitely a deep flex play because yeah, I wouldn't really want to be starting him outside of a deep league or just a situation where I'm really desperate for whatever reason, injuries or whatever. So yeah, between Kyle Williams and Cooper Cup. Okay, let's see. So the Seahawks play the Panthers, kind of middle of the road matchup. Kyle Williams plays the Jets. Pretty good matchup there. I'll just swing for the upside of Kyle Williams. I mean, that's a situation where like my only alternative is Cooper Cup. Like, yeah, that's the situation where I'll fire up Kyle Williams, and I'll just take the gamble. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be getting with Kyle Williams, but I do like at least that some opportunities opened up with Mac Hollins and Kayshon Boutte being out this week. So yeah, I do think as a deep desperation flex play, could be kind of sneaky. You know, I don't want to be starting them if I have a better option, but if your best alternative is Cooper Cup, then you don't have a better option. So yeah, let's just roll the dice on Kyle Williams and hope it works out. And let's see. Next question. Tiffany says, or a lineup. I proved myself, so got the upgrade for Christmas. Wait, I feel like I missed something there. I'm kind of all over the place now. Okay, moving ahead here. Chris Longo says, I think Henry did me in, though, but never know. I got some horses left to play tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Like, never give up. You never know what can happen. Like, we see some crazy comebacks in fantasy every week. Certainly, it happens in the playoffs too. It happens in the finals. So do not give up. Set the best lineup you possibly can. Swing for the upside. At least you really need the upside now. So take some chances. Swing for the upside. Just go for it. Let's see. Tiffany says Japan and Australia are off now. Okay, yeah. So this sounds like some inside baseball. Yeah, I don't know all the DFS logo lingo and everything like that. So I'll probably just kind of skip by this. But hey, I'm glad you guys are talking in the chat. Like, I love how this channel can connect people together. I think that's amazing. And yeah, just so many awesome people have like found this channel. Like, I'm just really blown away by that. So really awesome having all of you guys in here. Let's see if there are any last questions I missed before I take off here. Let's see. Okay. Grotha Life says lost DK Metcalf with a face palm emoji there. Yeah, that's brutal with the suspension. Yeah. We won't go into that whole thing, but yeah, unfortunate what happened there. Let's see. Tiffany says, had Malik Willis and Henry tonight after the first game. I thought I was wrecked. Okay, so you were playing against both Malik Willis and Derrick Henry? Oh, wait. No, you say after the first game, I thought I was wrecked. Okay, so wait, you're referring to the, what was that, Texans-Chargers game? I didn't watch too much of it. Okay, so you started Malik Willis and Derrick Henry then. Is that right? Like, let me know if I have that right. If so, like, that is amazing. Man, yeah, you got to be pretty happy right now if that's the case. And let's see. Quincy Davis says, I'm 16-0 and have a 68% chance to win. Holy cow, that is unbelievable. Hey, I hope you finish it off. Like, go for the rare undefeated season in fantasy. Like, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So congratulations on just going 16-0. And hey, let's finish it off here. Like, that's incredible. Vincent Ruff says, May going to have a stat game in NYC to pad MVP chance. Okay, wait. I sort of phrased that like a question, but I think you were just making a statement. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see a big game from Drake May. I'm starting him in a finals matchup, so I hope you are right. I definitely have a feeling you could be. Let's see. Christ Longo says, you mean 15-0 if you were undefeated, you had a bye. Okay, well, maybe some leagues don't have buys. I'm sure some leagues are like that. Actually, I'm even in a league that doesn't have bye week, so it does happen. And then let's see, we have Fredlin in the chat. Welcome. You say, I think San Fran's running back and quarterback will do bad versus the Bears. Huh. Interesting. I would not think that. I mean, what makes you say that? Can you give us some of your thought process behind that? Because that definitely surprises me to hear that. Chris Longo says, thank you for the warm welcome and solid advice. Yeah, my pleasure. Good to have you here. And let's see. Growth of Life says, first 2 plays in championship where Gibbs and Ladd need CMC to go off. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see any of that Chargers game, so I'm assuming Ladd didn't do too much. So sorry to hear that. And yeah, Gibbs was absolutely brutal. So yeah, hopefully CMC goes off to you. He certainly can. You got the right man for the job there. So fingers crossed for you, my friend. And Chris Longo says, my opponent did a no-no. He started the Packers D with Henry with a laughing emoji. Oh, good Lord. Hey, love it. Love it. Not fun when we're on the wrong end of that, but hey, it's great when the opponent is. So gotta love it. Let's see. Tiffany says, I did start Willis and Henry. Hey, let's go. That is awesome. I mean, my God, was that in a dynasty league or was that DFS? Because yeah, I know you're a DFS player, Tiffany. So yeah, let me know what kind of league that's in. But that's awesome. I mean, I was surprised. Blake, actually in the league that Blake and I met in, he is in the finals right now, and his opponent started Malik Willis, and I thought that was kind of crazy. I mean, not like crazy. I mean, I can understand why. I mean, the guy had Jordan Love, and who's injured, and Malik Willis has looked pretty good when he's been filling in, but still, I mean, you don't expect to see Malik Willis starting in a lineup in championship round of a dynasty league. I mean, it is super flex, so you start 2 quarterbacks, but even so, I mean, still feel like that takes some cojones to throw Malik Willis there in your starting lineup in the finals. So yeah, not fun for Blake there. Hey, at least he wasn't playing against Derrick Henry. Actually, I own Derrick Henry in that league. I offered Derrick Henry to Blake, and he turned me down. What do you think of this offer, by the way? Tell me if this was a fair offer. I sent him 2 offers, offering him Derrick Henry. So all I wanted was Devonta Smith. Okay, not that's all I wanted. Really good player, right? I wanted Devonta Smith. That was the only player or asset in the deal I was requesting. So for Devonta Smith, I gave him 2 offers to choose from. So one offer was Derrick Henry and the 301 rookie pick in 26. So Derrick Henry in the 301. Think of it as a late second, right? So Derrick Henry in the 301, or I offered him as an alternative offer, Derrick Henry, Deebo Samuel, and it was like the 304, something like that, like early third, I believe. So it was like 3 for 1. So tell me if that's a fair offer. Should Blake have accepted that for to send away Devonta Smith in a dynasty league? If you care about the format, it's 12 teams, start 10, super flex, PPR, no tight end premium though. So yeah, tell me if that's a fair offer. Should Blake have accepted that? He would send me Devonta Smith. I would send him Derrick Henry, Deebo Samuel, and like the 304, something, like a early to mid third, basically. So yeah, let me know if that was a fair offer. Let me know. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously Blake screwed up. I mean, come on. I'm sure if he knew Derrick Henry was going to go for like 40 plus points or whatever it was, he would have accepted and taken the future hit on the value loss or whatever. But I thought that was a pretty fair offer. I mean, sometimes you have to give up a little future value to contend, obviously in dynasty. So yeah, I'm sure he wishes he accepted that offer now. But yeah, let me know if you think that was a fair deal, even at the time before the monster Derrick Henry game. I thought it was pretty fair. I mean, hey, he could have countered, right? But yeah, we were running out of time. Let's see here. Okay, next comment. Okay, Chris Longo says I had Pickens and Ferguson. They didn't do well. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Chris Longo says night night. Okay. Let's see. Tiffany says it was my DFS lineup, and then also it was my DFS lineup, and then also in a dynasty group. Okay, very nice. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, I imagine Malik Willis was probably pretty cheap in DFS, or had low ownership, so I could see how that would be appealing. So yeah, good call on that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. So hey, oh wait, was there anything more here? Let's see. I just scrolled down and noticed some more. Yeah, I think that's about it. So hey, I'm gonna sign off here. Awesome stream. You guys are amazing. Appreciate all the warmth and support and all the great questions. You guys definitely challenging me. And hey, you absolutely smash the like goal. So appreciate that. So I'm gonna do another stream for you guys tomorrow. You because you hit the like goal. So I will stream probably around like an hour before kickoff, but like who knows? It could be a little earlier, it could be a little later, but somewhere around there. But yeah, probably the easiest way to know when we go live is just hit the notification bell. And if you do that, you'll get the push notification on your phone letting you know that Dynasty Savvy is live. So that makes it super easy. So definitely recommend hitting the notification bell. Definitely drop me a like on the way out if you guys would be so kind. If I answered your question, if I gave you a good answer, if you got any value out of the stream, definitely drop me a like. Really appreciate it. Really helps the channel grow. And yeah, we had a ton of people in here. So like that is so awesome to see. Like I said, you guys are amazing. And yeah, make sure you're subbed if you're new here. If you're not subbed yet, make sure you're subbed to the channel. We're trying to get to 200 subs. And let's see. I also see a funny comment in here. Tiffany says Blake scares me. I mean, you gotta expound on that. I gotta hear some more about why Blake scares you. That's pretty hilarious. I gotta know what that's about. Um, let's see. And then I'm just looking at a few of these last comments here, seeing if Tiffany's going to add any explanation to that. Uh, yeah, that's pretty funny though. Hopefully he scares you in a good way. I don't know. I'm not even sure, like, yeah, what you mean exactly, but that's pretty hilarious nonetheless. Anyways, let's see. Oh, Baker Mayfield scares me. Okay, I completely misread that. It did say Baker scared. I don't know why I read that as Blake. It's getting way too late. I need to sign off here. But yeah, I'll be waking up to give you guys a live stream before kickoff, help you finalize those lineups. And yeah, I'm going to put the Discord link in the description right now. And yeah, definitely join that up. If you have any other start sit questions, drop them in there. Always a good place to ask them. And I will see you guys on the stream tomorrow. Have a good night.